The whole family at their premier mountain resort, where you'll create memories that will last a lifetime. For more information, visit innofthemountaingods.com.
Fox News, I'm Sue Guzman. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in France with Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, today discussing a ceasefire deal between Ukraine and Russia.
We need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about in a matter of days, whether or not this is doable over the next few weeks. If it is, we're in. If it's not, then we have other priorities to focus on as well.
The 30 European countries discussing this potential deal. The U.S. is not committed to providing any military assistance. The son of a sheriff's deputy, Phoenix Eichner, now accused of fatally shooting 2 people and wounding 6 others at Florida State University yesterday. Florida State University student Owen Girard telling Fox News at Night he didn't realize what he was hearing at first.
We dismissed it immediately. Next thing you know, you have all of these students running at you, yelling that there's a shooter.
No word on a motive. America's listening to Fox News.
What is the Safe Haven Law? In New Mexico, you can bring your infant up to 90 days old to any Safe Haven site without fear of being criminally charged. This includes hospitals, fire stations, and police departments. Monica Kelsey, founder of Safe Haven Baby Boxes, has worked diligently to provide 3 baby box locations for your convenience. Hobbs's Baby Box is at Fire Station 1, 301 East White Street. Carlsbad's Baby Box is at Fire Department Station 1, 401 South Jalagueño Street. Roswell's Baby Box is at their Central Fire Station, 200 South Richardson Avenue. Remember, if you can't make it to one of these Safe Haven Baby Box locations, you can take your infant to any hospital, police department, or fire station. No shame, no blame, and no names. Visit shbb.org for more information.
Hey folks, Brian Bruce here, new owner of Mustang Country Chevrolet. With over 200 new and used cars in our inventory, you have more choice than ever. Bigger selection, better financing options, and excellent service. Our goal is to keep you on the road because we know time is money. Call, click MustangCountryChevy.com or come see us at 604 West Broadway in Denver City. Mustang Country, as big as Texas.
In need of a tow? Those don't have to be dirty words. At Lee County Roadside, they have been offering friendly and knowledgeable service for 20 years. From light to heavy duty, there's nothing they can't tow. And with 24-hour availability, there's no time they can't tow it. Don't make a bad day worse by choosing the wrong tow company. Lee County Roadside, the good guys to call in a bad situation. For 24-hour service, call 575-392-3223 or locate them at 7401 North Del Paso, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Like Lee County Roadside on Facebook and follow them on Instagram.
If you, your business, or your organization is needing a venue or facility to host a meeting, convention, party, or other special event, don't cram everyone into your tiny little office. Call the Lee County Event Center. You don't have to fill up the main floor. The Event Center has many other smaller rooms that are perfect for meetings, seminars, parties, and other special events. The Lee County Event Center, seating for 25 or 2,500, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Call 575-391-2100 or visit LeeCountyEvents.com.
Looking for oil field, industrial, and safety supplies? Go to America Supply. Need cleaning supplies? America Supply has that too. How about restaurant and food truck supplies? Are you beginning to see a trend here? America Supply carries everything from H2S and quad monitors, fire extinguishers and first aid kits, to safety glasses, vests, FR clothing, fall protection, and gloves of all types. They have your slings and whip checks, your lift straps and cam locks, your adapters, pipe fittings, and threaders. They have many name brands like Lockout, Tagout, Pelican, Milwaukee, Rigid, and so many more. Visit America Supply to find exactly what you're looking for and then some. 502 North Grimes and Hobbs under the Big American Eagle or call 575-393-3383.
Did you know that when you become employed with Eddy County, you'll be receiving one of the best and most competitive benefits packages in Southeast New Mexico? Eddy County offers great pay, paid vacation, paid sick leave, and holiday pay in addition. You get para-retirement, and for full-time employees, 100% health insurance paid and 60% for your dependents. You can find a list of open positions and apply at New Mexico Workforce Connection or online at eddycounty.org. Eddy County is an equal opportunity employer.
There's a special magic in the air when Jowl Cowboy Days rolls into town. This beloved event transforms Jowl Lake Park into a vibrant celebration of Western culture and community spirit. With live music, a Dutch oven cook-off, and fun for the whole family. Loaded with vendors to shop, plus a foam pit and bounce houses for the kids. It's an experience you won't want to miss. On Friday, April 25th, the live music begins with the sounds of Josh Ward from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and Bravos de Ojinaga from 9:30 to 11 p.m. Then on Saturday, April 26th, the day kicks off with the Cowboy Cook-Off at 7 a.m., Cattle Drive at 11 a.m., and Branding at 11:30. Finish the evening as Lowdown Drifters takes the stage from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., followed by Norteños de Ojinaga from 9:30 to 11 p.m. Celebrate the spirit of the West at Jowl Cowboy Days, April 25th and 26th. Join the festivities, indulge in the delicious food, and enjoy unforgettable performances. Visit cityofjowl.us for more details. Don't let this fun-filled family affair pass you by.
Southeast New Mexico weather. Good morning. The forecast for Southeast New Mexico as we start in Roswell with temperatures around 81 degrees on this Friday and blowing dust. Carlsbad, Artesia, blowing dust, reducing visibilities. It could be a bit dangerous at 86 degrees. And Lovington, 81 degrees and blowing dust will continue. Now tomorrow, Lovington temperatures will drop to 75 degrees with rain, snow mix possible. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
This morning show rocks.
Is it time?
Love it. Get it on now. Let's get this show started.
This show is powered by Permian Ford. Stop by and see Daniel Velas today, broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. The question of the day, brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply. They have parts for semis, heavy trucks, and industrial trucks. Text line being brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer.
Nothing wakes me up.
Bad. Very bad. He's a bastard. I just love his attitude, man. He's got a great
Call
attitude.
or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to us.
Are you ready? Do it.
Today is a good day.
Actually, it's Good Friday. The good in Good Friday comes from an archaic meaning of the word good, which translates into English as Holy Friday.
Easter is upon us.
Easter.
Easter eggs!
Rabbits encased in chocolate.
A beautiful Easter.
Weekend.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Jesus.
Showtime. And good morning to you. Another day in paradise. Tom A. already talking crap.
Whatever.
About the richest college football programs, and I'm going to set you straight, but just give me a little bit because okay. I want to make sure my numbers are still there. But yeah,
got him riled up already. Huh?
You're not even close.
Then you do it like 30 seconds before we come on air.
That was the whole point.
Yeah, not even close, but. When it comes to athletic programs, I'm sorry, Colorado is not even in the top 25. I don't think they're in the top 40, Tom. So, no, sorry about that.
They got Deion, though.
What's that?
They got Deion Sanders as their coach.
And how many championships they won?
Well, wait a minute. Rome wasn't built in one day, you know.
Well, isn't that always your benchmark when you talk about something? You go, they won. They won a championship back in 1902.
How many they got?
They got 1990. They won the national championship. Actually,
no. Deion Sanders wasn't there, so can't live on last year. How many they won since Deion's there?
Nothing.
Okay. Nothing from nothing equals.
You watch.
Not from not equals not. All right, looks like today is Adult Autism Awareness Day, Good Friday, International Amateur Radio Day. If you want some good amateur radio, I mean, just right there in Hobbs.
We have competition.
Turner. I'm just kidding. Don't get offended by that. International Day of Monuments and Sites, National Animal Crackers Day, National Lineman Appreciation Day.
Oh, I got a text already. What the hell?
National Transfer Money to Your Daughter's Account Day. Daughter, I just sent you $100 today, but that's for the grandkids for Easter. Sorry. Newspaper columnist day going on, Pet Owner Independence Day, and Piñata Day happening today. Actor George Clooney said, calling for the former president, Joe Biden, to withdraw in 2024 was his civic duty.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, George. He knew it was over when he walked by and smelled Joe's pants and they were already soiled and dirty. He knew that something wasn't right. Yeah, he was. Yeah, and I mean, look, one washed-up guy knows another washed-up guy. They know. They know. Okay. President Trump held an official Easter dinner this week. That happened last night, just ahead of the actual holiday, which is Sunday. Former President Biden, was suited up as the Easter Bunny, of course. Last year, there was no official Easter. They did Trans Visibility Day instead of Easter Sunday. I know it makes you feel better. Makes you feel better. Look, things are not perfect right now in America, but they are a hell of a lot better when they were like last year.
Right.
Just saying.
So what you're saying last year brought a whole new meaning to hiding the eggs.
Yeah. Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay.
55 Big Lot stores are shutting down, and they're simply going to reopen next month. So they're shutting them down, and then we'll reopen the stores just like that. So they're not really going anywhere.
No.
And researchers in Japan have produced a nugget-sized chunks of chicken using animal cells. So would you call that lab-grown food?
If you grow it in a lab, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. All right, Tom, earlier, Tom said, I said, Tom, do you know the athletic director was kind of upset about retiring Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's jerseys because he had no knowledge of it. And Tom said, well, when you make $40 billion for the school, like Dion did. So $40 million is a drop in the bucket. And if every coach had that attitude, number one football last year, $1.32 billion, Ohio State.
Wow.
Texas, $1.28 billion. Texas A&M, $1.26 billion. Michigan, $1.06 billion. Alabama, $978 million. University of Notre Dame, $969. Georgia, $950. Nebraska, $943. I'm actually surprised. Nebraska. Tennessee, $940. Oklahoma came in at $928.
I'm waiting for Colorado. Hello.
Penn State came in at $924. Southern Cal, $923. LSU at $916. I'm looking for the University of Colorado. Wait, hold up. Hold up. Well, I mean, and so where do you think that puts them, Tom?
Well,
$40 million.
Does it really matter? It just funds the rest of their athletic program.
Does it really matter? That's
so I'm looking. I'm already to like the top 75, and I'm not seeing them. And this only goes up to 75.
But those players brought a lot of money to the program. Now they deserve.
Apparently not.
So
their numbers.
Not apparently they did not. But you can't do it. You know, when you're a coach or you're a manager, you can't do what you want. You got a boss too. So after this year, I'm sure he'll be gone.
No,
I'm kind of sure.
No.
Are you sure?
You said that last year. I mean, it's kind of getting old.
Are you sure?
This year is going to prove he's out to prove that he can win without those three top players that he had.
So, what championship is going to win? National championship, conference championship?
Hey man, if he can't win the whole big prize, why are you even playing for?
Well, I would say the same thing. In a weak Big 12, yeah, I would say the same thing, but I don't see him winning. Looks like Senator Van Hollen did meet with the gangbanger from El Salvador, and by the way, he's not coming home.
Right.
I'll put it to you that way. He did meet with him. He looks like I posted up. If you go to Kevin B. and I should have posted it up on Be in the Breakfast Club. I'll do that on the fly. If you go and look at the pictures I posted up on Kevin B.
Mm-hmm. Which is where they were grading.
Can you hand Tom the picture of the gentleman that he said didn't have his due process and should come home? Can you do that for me?
Look, the only way that guy's coming home if he escapes out of jail.
No. You said he should come home. I want you to look at his hands. I want you to look at his fingers. He's got a tattoo on his fingers. I want you to tell me what that tattoo says. If you would.
Yeah. What's it say? I can't see it.
You can't see that?
No. What's it say?
So I'm putting it up on Be in the Breakfast Club as we speak.
I've got the thing as big as it'll go on the phone, and he says that he can't see it. It's a 1 and a 3. A 1 and a 3.
Which spells 4.
No. 1 and 3.
1 and a 3.
If that was all one number, what would it be?
4.
13.
Oh.
13. Now, what does that have in common with a gang, Tom?
Well, he's an idiot then to put those kind of tattoos on his fingers.
So, no. What does that have to do with a gang?
It's a notorious gang.
Oh.
I never said for him not to go home.
Coming out about this gentleman, not only the whole thing about him beating his wife and her getting a restraining order and the whole deal, also new information coming out that he was driving through Tennessee, coming from Texas, had 7 individuals in the vehicle. He was stopped in Tennessee, and they called for a supervisor. Supervisor said, something doesn't look right. This looks like human trafficking to me.
Yeah.
And so they called the FBI. The FBI agent said, send pictures and of everything, sent a copy of his driver's license. And about an hour and a half later, the first FBI agent said, this looks like definitely, no doubt, this looks like it is human trafficking.
Should have been busted then.
About an hour and a half later, they call back and say, let him go. So maybe he was a informant for the FBI. Just saying, maybe he was an informant, and that's why he got let go, because usually they wouldn't let you go.
No, they wouldn't.
Right.
There's a lot
we
of
just don't
untold
know.
stories. Yeah, we at this point do not know. But this senator going to El Salvador and using our tax dollars, did he violate the Logan Act by doing that?
It's very possible, but they'll try and cover it up in a different way.
Yeah.
So the president of El Salvador said, it's nice to see them meeting and sharing margaritas. And I noticed that, what got me looking at his hands is that I looked at the pictures he never took his hands from under the table.
No,
and I was like, what's he hiding?
And if this would have been I think it's in a hotel or something like that is where they met. I don't know exactly.
Oh, they let him out of prison, huh?
Well, they brought him.
Oh.
It's obviously not in prison because they wouldn't let him sit with his hands under the table.
And I'm just going to say, he doesn't look like he's starving. I mean, he's got a big old belly. Doesn't look like he's starving. And let me say another thing. This guy is not a construction worker. Look at his arms. His arms have no muscle tone at all. Construction workers work their ass off.
Right.
This guy is not a construction worker.
No.
I'll just say that. Not a construction. This is the guy that Tom wanted to be brought back because he didn't get his due process.
I said if he belongs in El Salvador, he needs to stay there.
Yeah, you change your mind, as you
flopper.
always do. Flip-flopper, Mr. Chancla.
What's that?
Chancla.
If Monica was here, she would be admonishing you.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let me check the weather. Then we got a terrible story about the shooter at Florida State. Donald Trump standing by the Second Amendment, and the majority of voters still want mass deportations. Tom, do you think abortions in New Mexico went up or down last year?
Oh, definitely up.
You think up? We'll talk about that. And I don't know if you watched the press conference from the Carmelo Anthony.
That guy,
Man,
let that guy go. Can you believe that?
What a shite show. And I'll play some of that coming up in just a second. Weather this morning being brought to you by Maine Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Maine Trailer Sales, serving all of southeast New Mexico. Largest inventory. They've got the big name brands, Passport, Cougar, and, of course, they've got Durango. They've got fifth wheels, toy haulers, ultralights. They've got great service after the sale. And fair pricing. They give you fair pricing. So if you're living in a hotel and using your per diem to pay for a hotel room, at the end of the month, you get a big old stack of receipts. At the end of the year, you get a big old stack of receipts. You know, in 4 years, you'll have a huge stack of receipts. In 4 years, you'll probably be finished paying for your fifth wheel by using the per diem to pay for it. And you won't have a stack of receipts. You'll actually have something that is super, super cool. Go by and check them out. They're in Roswell. 2 lots available in Roswell. Call 622-1751. Talk to David or go to MaineTrailerSalesInc.com. Don't go camping without Maine Trailer Sales. High wind advisory in effect until 7 p.m. tonight. 82 and sunny for southeast New Mexico with 40-mile-an-hour winds. Most of the winds today will be out of the west and very windy throughout the day. Also tonight, wind early evening and then 52. Tomorrow, sunny skies and up to 77 with about 25-mile-an-hour winds. Lincoln County, we've got a wind advisory, red flag warning in effect. High temperature 61. 55-mile-an-hour winds are expected today. 45-mile-an-hour winds coming up tomorrow. And Saturday, a 40% chance of rain. Some of that could be snow. Easter Sunday, though, is looking pretty good. And in Albuquerque, weather for Albuquerque calling for a 20% chance of afternoon showers and wind picking up mostly in the afternoon. Winds up to about 25 miles an hour this afternoon. High temperature 70, 40% chance of scattered showers tonight. About 30, 39 for the overnight low. And then snow in the forecast tomorrow morning and rain in the forecast tomorrow afternoon. High temperature getting up to 56. Quick check of the weather. Go to W105radio.com. Weather this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror. Atlas Makeup Mirror and Grooming Tool times 1 times 5 times 10. Magna.
What happened?
Awesome.
Are you back? We lost you for a second. We lost you for a second.
What the heck is going on?
One of those weird things.
So, pocket mirror would be perfect for, put in the Easter basket. It is small, lit up, and perfect size. Give Rebecca Long a call, 575-631-3189, atlasmakeupmirror.com for more information. Tom is available with the text. Slaughter away.
All right, Artesia
Slaughter
Tom,
away.
Artesia Tom Fan is chiming in and says, we should not pay for the travel to El Salvador for anyone, says Artesia Fan this morning. And this texter says he said he is home. Okay. I hadn't heard
who.
Who is that? Texter, let us know.
Which he are you talking about?
Yeah. Maybe
who's home? He's not home.
This texter.
You talking about the thug?
No,
the gang member.
Or the senator.
He's home if you consider jail his home in El Salvador.
Right.
Well, no, he is home. Yeah, he's home in El Salvador.
In El Salvador.
That's actually his home. Good place for him too. Yeah. Everybody wants to be home.
This texter said, Tom is here today. I thought he was going to be in Las Vegas for the weekend for the WrestleMania. Well, I was supposed to, but they sent my daughter over to Langley, and she won't be back for several weeks. So I didn't get to go to see Vegas.
So you didn't have tickets?
No, the tickets were going to be $450, between $400 and $750.
I was going to make her pay for it. I mean, you think I'm paying for it? I'm not no fool.
And those are going to be nosebleeds at best. I might as well just watch it on TV anyway. Peacock's going to have the.
Well, you said you had tickets last time. You said you already have tickets.
No, I had potentially tickets for the show.
I didn't have tickets. I had potential for the tickets.
And then when
your daughter.
When I found out she was not going to be in town, why go?
So your daughter was
Would
going to buy
you
the tickets.
consider yourself a man of high character?
What do you mean?
Would you consider yourself a man of high character?
What does that institute?
A man of high moral fiber.
Well, I ain't screwing nobody, if that's what you're saying. I ain't trying to get advantage of
But you
nobody.
damn sure ain't telling the truth.
Truth is relevant. Irrelevant.
Okay. So that would be an answer. That would be no. That would definitely be an answer no, for sure. All right, we're going to get to the thought for the day coming up. Also, we got to get to the tweet of the day. It's relevant. It doesn't really matter. We got a lot of things to get to this morning. Shooting yesterday at Florida State University in Tallahassee. So 2 people killed, 6 others injured. Shooting at Florida State. Shooting began about 11:50 a.m. during a press conference. During the press conference later that afternoon, authorities identified the suspect as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, student at Florida State. Eichner was taken to the hospital after being neutralized by authorities. Police said that his mother is actually a sheriff's deputy at Leon County Sheriff's Office, and said Eichner used his mother's weapon to end this killing. Now, they did come back and say it was not her service weapon. It was a AK that had been what is that called when they take them and they're not using them in duty, and then they sell them to individuals. And so she had bought it from the sheriff's department, Leon County Sheriff's Department.
Okay.
Suspect's mother, her name is Jessica Eichner, has been a sheriff's officer for 18 years, and authorities says she does a tremendous job. Her service to this community is exceptional, according to the sheriff at the press conference. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that weapon was found at the scene. They're continuing to investigate at this time. Jessica Eichner, the mother of the suspect, was, she is a sheriff's deputy and has been for 18 years. 2 people that were killed were not students of Florida State, according to authorities.
Wow.
And they believe the suspect was acting alone. And there's no further threat to the community. And that's pretty much what we know at this time. Motive? Don't know. Don't know what the motive was.
No.
I saw liberals saying the mother should be arrested for not having her guns locked up. Look, this is an adult. This is this is not a kid.
Right.
This is an adult. Unless she knew that that kid had mental issues, there's no reason to lock up guns.
Right.
And he could have taken her service revolver if he wanted to, too, remember?
Mm-mm.
No, I don't think he's taking her service revolver. She didn't notice that.
Was she on duty when it happened?
She was on duty.
So
Yeah.
she probably had her
was.
service revolver with her.
But if he had wanted
So
to, without
hopefully
her
in the
knowledge-
next couple days,
No,
we
she
will
would have
find.
known.
Yeah.
She would have known, Tom. It's not in the damn holster.
You never know how these things turn out. People get guns.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know that.
Let me tell
every
you what I
single
do.
law enforcement officer we have listening to
Oh.
this show right now will tell you they will know if they have their service weapon
Well,
with them or
here's
not.
the deal. If the service revolver is not in the holster, I mean,
you kinda know.
will. It's a different weight. Yes, you are going to know.
Yeah, but police officers have more than one firearm available to them.
Oh my God! Just stop already, please. Can we get somebody to deport you? Can Donald Trump? Can he be deported? Please. Can somebody put a black hood over his head and take him across the border? Let's get this done.
Pour me into the Philippines.
Well, and going back to the liberals talking about how all of her guns should have been locked up. Well, they don't want anyone to ever have access to any weapon, even to defend yourself. They only want bad guys to have weapons.
Look, if you have kids, I'm talking about young kids, but this is an adult. He can vote.
Right.
He can join the military. He's not a kid.
Right.
Definitely not a kid.
Well,
CNN,
he's still a kid, but not legally.
Right.
Right.
He's not a minor.
No, he's not a minor. Looks like CNN poll. Majority of voters favor deporting all illegal migrants. By the way, that number is steadfast. 56%. Even among Hispanics, that number is about 50%.
Yep.
Independent voters, way above 50%. I know it breaks your heart, Tom. Michelle Lujan Gresham, pro-abortion campaign, becoming the abortion capital, the tourist capital of the world.
I believe it.
They will rip a baby out of a mother's womb faster than you can say, ouch.
Yep.
And
sad but true.
And they're mad at these current numbers.
So the abortion rate across the United States continues to rise. That number went up about 1% last year, and shame on us. 1.04 million babies killed. But New Mexico abortions actually fell 11%. They dropped from nearly 21,000 to 18,600, which is still a lot of babies that are killed.
Just think any one of those could have been that person who was going to cure cancer or cure a disease or
made a difference. Somebody
made it. Yeah, that's one of those kids.
But something that I found remarkable about our abortion numbers in New Mexico, they say 68% of all abortions in New Mexico were performed on Texans.
Yeah, I believe that.
I was quite surprised with those numbers. How much money do we provide for abortions?
Millions. I mean, the governor's building a $10 million abortion facility right now.
Cruises.
Yeah.
I would like to know how much money.
I want to kill more babies.
Yeah, that's the goal. And by the way, she's going to be very upset because they're failing the score. They're not meeting the goal.
Oh, they spent $400,000 on ad campaigns to draw people from other states.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Man, we're sad. We are sad. Sorry to say.
That was our tourism budget for that.
Yep, 632. Yeah, it's called abortion tourism.
Makes no sense.
Texas press conference. Carmelo Anthony. I am, as I watched this, chaos unfold at the press conference. What happened was Austin Metcalf's dad came to this press conference because he said he did not want his son to ever be forgotten. Son didn't do anything wrong. His son did nothing wrong. By the way, they got quite upset. They called him names. They said he was a racist and a bigot, and they called the police. And he left on his own, and he is in a sling. He's got I don't know what happened to his arm, but he's in a sling. So he left on his own. And this whole thing is being headed up by the Next Generation Action Committee. It's an activist group who also took part in a lot of the BLM stuff.
And the defund the police.
Next Generation Action Committee.
Wow.
The mother is completely unhinged. She said that the dad's mental health is deteriorating. that he's not even working anymore. I mean, why work when you got all this GoFundMe money?
Well, they live in a $900,000 house now.
Wow.
That he's in, and they're renting it. It's $3,500 a month to rent this house, and they just got a couple of brand new vehicles since he's been released.
But the mother said something, and I'm just going to play the cut, and then I'll come back and explain what I think is going on here. She said something about her 13-year-old daughter.
My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
So what is she afraid of? Her brother and a knife?
That's what I would think.
I mean, what exactly are you afraid of? What happened? I'm totally. I don't understand.
I mean, you have an almost $1 million home in a gated neighborhood. What is your daughter afraid of, except for the brother with a knife?
I don't get it. But Dominique Alexander, who is the president of this organization, listen to what he had to say. He went straight up, blaming stuff on racists and bigots. And I'm just going to say right now, you can hate me if you want. This guy's a pastor. This is why I don't trust a lot of pastors. Self-serving, in it for the money. And some pastors I love, some of them I just don't trust. They're about making money. They're charlatans.
That's this one.
And they're also race baiters. This guy's a race baiter. When I think of black pastors, I'm thinking about Jeremiah White, Obama's pastor. I'm thinking about Al Sharpton, another race baiter who was looking out for himself, and Jesse Jackson looking out for themselves. Listen to what he had to say. He mentioned the name Daniel Penny. He mentioned the name Kyle Rittenhouse. Listen to this. Unbelievable. He made it racial.
That was disrespectful and just shows you all.
He's talking about the Metcalf dad coming to the facility.
The character who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family. But he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay?
Okay.
What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case.
So if you talk about the case, you are a bigot and a political operative. That's what he's saying. You are a political operative. I don't think so, but that's what he's saying. And the mention race, that's another thing I can't stand. Just using race for everything. Everything's got to be about race. Cut number 2.
And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I asked, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had. Daniel Penny, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support.
Here we go.
For this fund.
Oh, give more money. Give more money. Isn't that the ultimate goal?
More
to
money.
Give more money. That's the ultimate goal. This guy is guilty of murdering the Metcalf kid.
Mm-hmm.
And to let him out of jail. Kyle Rittenhouse spent how much time in jail? Daniel Penny spent how much time in jail? I mean, if you want to compare, let's compare.
Right. And what was his bail? $2 million?
Yeah. I'm sick and tired of everything being about race. And the perpetrators of race are people like that guy.
And he was attacked. Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked by a mob.
Yes. He was attacked. In fact, the other guy was pointing a gun right at him, if I remember the video.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sad, sad, sad. And you know what? Sad story, because Metcalf, the dad, said, this is not about race. I have forgiven Carmelo. I have forgiven his family. And we shouldn't make this about race. He said that on day one. And they made, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
He's just standing up saying, what about my son? He's not here to speak for himself.
Right.
Here's the murderer that's out speaking for himself. Looks like he's living a pretty good life, too.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, the kid that played for Tennessee, Nico.
Yes.
What's his last name?
Amaya, something like that.
I will mess it up. But anyway, looks like he's taking a pay cut. Looks like he's going to UCLA. And by the time you pay your taxes at UCLA, he's making a lot less money.
That's what I hear.
I love this. Yeah, I love this. First of all, he's making over $2 million at Tennessee. He's not going to even make close to that. And then when you pay California taxes,
right,
this is going to be great.
That's what you get for getting greedy, man. He hadn't made it. Tennessee.
I mean, his dad, was the one pushing this.
Yep.
He only threw for 2,600 yards last year. Year before that, he threw for like 400 yards.
He's a red freshman, yeah.
That was a sophomore year.
Yep.
No, he's redshirt.
Yep.
Yeah, redshirt. So anyway, God bless. I hope UCLA, the rest of the team does well, but I'm not hoping the quarterback does well, because if the quarterback does well, this opens up a lot of opportunities for other players to do the same thing. Yeah. Donald Trump says 100% chance we'll strike a deal with Europe. I don't know if you saw the Italian prime minister.
Yeah, Meloni.
Giorgiano. Yeah, she was there. And she actually said to Trump, we can make the West great again.
Yeah. Funny how they're falling
So
along.
that deal looks like it's pretty much done. Albuquerque man sentenced to life in prison for killing a massage parlor owner. The man that the jury convicted of killing the owner of a massage parlor more than 3 years ago was sentenced for his crimes. Yesterday afternoon, investigators say that Jorge Rivera Ramirez and Carlos Hernandez forced their way into the wonderful massage parlor in 2022. Plans to rob it, but they actually shot Susie Fang as she fought back.
Didn't she?
And
didn't she shoot at him too? If I remember right, didn't she?
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah, I don't see that she shot back at them. But he was found guilty of murder, kidnapping, and more, and scheduled to go to prison for life plus 18 years.
Good.
See, we need more of this. Life plus 18 years. That's what we need. And the White House responding to California, saying that suing the White House about tariffs. Trump responding, saying their high taxes are really hurting the state. Did you have the story yesterday about Haley Joel Osment, the guy from Sixth Sense?
Being arrested for...
Yeah, he was arrested for public intoxication.
I did not have the story, but I do remember it.
And then he was also arrested. He had some type of unidentified controlled substance. That has not come back from the lab yet. And that 13-year-old boy pled guilty to intentionally hitting and killing that Albuquerque bicyclist. Look, this kid knows that he's going to be out in a matter of years.
Right.
So one of the 3 teenagers accused of intentionally crashing a stolen car into the 63-year-old Albuquerque man pled guilty. And looks like that's going to be a second-degree murder charge. That happened yesterday. The other kids, there were 3 other kids, their trial has not come up with, but he did plead guilty. He is going to be held in juvenile detention center, and at the age of 21, he'll probably get out.
And that's
the way.
That's just pitiful that these kids intentionally ran someone over.
Intentionally.
They did it on purpose. They talked about it and ran someone over. How is that not first-degree murder?
Well, they're going to get out at the age of 21. It's just sad that they're going to get out. All right, 645. Thought for the day being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35 years serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service. Boom or bust, give them a call. They also have, besides, unleaded diesel DEF value, they also have interstate batteries. Go to the website, wakefieldOil.com, or call 575-622-4160. Thought for the day in memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Thought for the day is, back in my day, we didn't need all those filters on our photos. We had something called terrible picture quality, and we stand by it. Not an issue. Price of oil in just a second. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply. Check them out today. Roswell Livestock, homegrown and proud of it. Farm and Ranch Supplies, Western Wear. They've got feed for all of your animals. They also can, they've got trailers, tanks, tack, plumbing supplies, looking for pumps, got water well issues. They can handle all of that and so much more. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell, homegrown and proud of it. You can also find them in Capitan at the Lincoln County Mercantile. Tom and the text.
All right, Eddie D is chiming in. He said, I hate to say it, but I've seen thousands of Carmelo Anthonys in prison. He will be in and out of prison for the rest of his life, thinking he's going to be a rapper one day. And is preying on weak homosexuals, telling himself he's only gay for the stay, says Eddie D this morning. Wow. And the stabber's lawyer is a minister with a long rap sheet, too, for many years, says Artesia Tom fan. Oh, I'll be darned.
Yeah, he's a lawyer and a pastor.
Wow. And, Tom, one is a firearm, the other is a taser. Don't talk about crap you don't know about. Look, I was saying police officers carry more than one firearm in their household. I'm sure they interchange those things all the time.
No, they don't. The
No.
service weapon
Their
is the service weapon.
Revolver is a service revolver.
Yes.
Or it might be a 1911, so it's not always a revolver.
But I
it's a
imagine they
weapon.
own more than one gun.
But they only
Well,
have
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They can only carry one at a
service
time.
weapon.
the service weapon is their service weapon.
Yes, I know.
It goes.
Keep talking about crap you know nothing about.
No, I do know. I've talked to police officers before. They
would know if it was missing.
They have more than one gun in their household. Believe me.
All right, just read the damn text, please.
So
if you would.
And I don't hear Monica. She's finally fed up with you guys. Well, I don't know where she's at today.
Yeah, yesterday she said, "I just can't take Tom anymore. I am not here tomorrow."
Well, she can say goodbye if she wants. So.
I was just joking, Tom. Jeez.
And then we have nobody to read the damn text.
And Tom, well, then you get mad at me for reading them. Hello.
That was kind of mean, Tom.
Well, Tom gets
because you don't read.
Tom gets deported. Starts the Chicharron cartel. Laugh my A off, says this one texter.
Let's get him deported. Let's get it done. Can somebody report him, please?
There you go.
All right, let me get to the tweet of the day. Tom, when we come back, we're going to the price of oil, so stand by. 649 tweet of the day this morning. Being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and the home store. Find them in the Broadmoor Mall. Extensive collection of FR, jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts. They've got everything if you're going to work in the patch. One-stop shop. Hard hats, work boots, steel-toe boots, safety gear. They also have furniture, appliances, and electronics. Talk to them about zero-down financing. Now, they also have a section of boots for just $99. Looking for a high-quality pair of boots, but you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money for? Yeah, get in there and check them out. $99 boots at Rig Outfitters. Find them at rigoutfitters.com or in the Broadmoor Mall. They're right next to our buddies at Scrub Outfitters. Scrub Outfitters has the largest selection of medical scrubs in about 100 miles. And all the big name brands, Dickies, Healing Hands, Mectatura, Peaches, compression socks, comfy shoes, all the equipment you need to go to work in the medical field. Follow them on Facebook or just stop into the Broadmoor Mall right next to Rig Outfitters. It's Scrub Outfitters. Hey, where's the beef? We'll talk about that next. Here's the tweet of the day. It is our buddy Larry, the cable guy, talking about Easter.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. My wife, I love her to death. She's my best friend in the whole world. And she, thank you, but I will say this. I was mad at her last night because she didn't want to make love to me. And then I informed her I still had some rollover minutes. So, do that. She's pretty spontaneous, too. One time she tied my ankles to the bedpost and tied my wrist to the bedpost, and then she left, and the store manager had to untie me out there, pissed me off. Guess they don't let you get kinky to J.C. Penney anymore, I guess. But I love her to death. We've been married 4 years. We've only fought one time in our entire life, and that was at Easter last year. But that was my fault because I hold my farts in for Lent. Yeah, Easter's not a lot of fun around our house. I've been always. You know what kills me at Easter? Them daggum peeps. Them marshmallow peeps. Good Lord, you ever eat a peep? Oh, you ever poop a peep? You ever do that? That's like pulling taffy. That ain't good at all, pooping a peep. Well, I wonder if the pips ever pooped a peep. What the hell am I talking about? You get the feeling I can do this show without anybody at all in here right now? You get the feeling? What the hell's wrong with me?
Happy Easter, Larry the cable guy. All right, the glamorous astronauts talking about their time in space.
And this whole journey is not just about going to space.
Oh.
It's the training, it's the team, it's the whole thing. We weren't just taking up space, we were making space for the future.
No.
And for me, like Gail said, this wasn't a ride.
It was.
It wasn't a destination. It was a journey, and it was a supernatural one. You'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes
It was
out,
a ride.
never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride. You know, we duplicated the same trajectory that Alan Shepard did back in the day, pretty much. No one called that a ride. No. It was called flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
So a bull rider goes on a ride. You call that what?
Frivolous.
Anyway, let me just say, back in the day.
Wait a minute. The astronauts, the ones that she just mentioned, were doing stuff for that flight.
Right.
Like, they had a single astronaut in the capsule with them.
Right.
Right? They were along for the ride. They were strapped in. They didn't have to push any buttons. They didn't have to do anything except sit there and be strapped in. Didn't matter if they're male or female. They went for a ride.
Yeah. Expensive one at that.
So if that makes them an astronaut.
It doesn't.
I'm just saying I'm a gynecologist.
There you go. Yeah, that's equal qualifications.
They're not astronauts.
No.
They went for the ride, and Felix Baumgartner, back in the day,
I remember him. He fell. What?
Jumped
22 miles out of the sky.
24 miles.
I was there.
Up in the sky.
You weren't there.
Sure
he
was.
was alone when he jumped.
I was there when I covered that event.
You would have weighed him
in
down.
Roswell.
I don't think you could go that high, Tom.
I was there when he jumped.
No, you weren't. You might have been on the ground.
I was there. I was at the event.
Oh, Lord.
We were on the air, Tom.
And he actually landed here in Lovington.
I was right there with him. I pushed him out.
I was there. I pulled the rip cord. So anyway, the point is, if I could get back to it, Tom, the dude went up in a suit.
Yes.
24 miles up in space. They went up 60 miles in a capsule.
Suborbital space.
He was not like he went to the damn moon.
Nope.
When Felix was coming down, he was free falling in a suit. He was going 832 miles an hour. Now you tell me who had a rougher ride. Katy Perry, Gayle King, or Felix Baumgartner?
Oh, Felix.
I'm going to go with Felix. I think Felix did.
Yep.
Border Patrol. Border Patrol saying that, boy, I tell you what, recruiting numbers are up, morale is back, and things are looking good on the border. Here's their Mike Banks.
Patrol morale is going through the roof. We've had the handcuffs taken off. We're allowed to actually do our job, which is go out and enforce the law. Under this administration, they have literally taken the handcuffs off and allowed us to enforce law instead of policies that were created to contradict the law. And so our morale has continued to rise. I'm actually out in the field today. I was over in Rio Grande yesterday. Outstanding morale in El Paso today, visiting with the troops out here and the agents, and the morale is just through the roof.
And how's recruiting?
Recruiting is looking great. We're seeing some of our highest numbers ever. Really excited about that because, as you know, during the previous 4 years under the Biden administration, we saw a mass exodus from the Border Patrol, and we saw some of our lowest recruiting numbers. We're seeing the opposite. We're seeing agents pull retirement paperwork in order to continue staying in and serve.
So you actually had people coming out of retirement also so that they could serve.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, Wendy's, getting back to the astronaut story with Katy Perry, Wendy's saying that they're not going to apologize for the online post. Why would they? You can't take a damn joke. You're not an astronaut.
And
you're not.
If you go look back at that account that Wendy's has, they're pretty snarky a lot. It's not. Just her.
No, it's just not her. Roswell Police Department, boy, they've had a tough week. On yesterday, about 1:14 a.m., Roswell police officers responded to a call regarding a male subject harassing his ex-girlfriend. Upon arrival, officers made contact with a subject, an off-duty officer, Thomas Troy. Victim stated that Troy, who is her ex-boyfriend, arrived at the residence of her current boyfriend, where the victim was at the time, and started banging on the door. The suspect stated that the premises was approximately 20 minutes until he stayed there until the cops got there. Took him 20 minutes to get there. By the way, they broke up months ago. Following an on-scene investigation, Officer Troy, 21, was placed under arrest on charges of stalking and disorderly conduct, and was brought to the Chaves County Detention Center. He has been working for the Roswell Police Department since March of 2023. You remember that yesterday we had the story of another officer that was arrested for domestic violence.
Right.
Police chief in Roswell, Lance Bateman, referred to both arrests and said it is pretty tough. It's not only frustrating, but it angers me. I can understand I can understand. Supreme Court agrees to hear Trump administration's bid for birthright citizenship restrictions. So on Thursday, the Supreme Court agreed that they will consider the Trump administration's request to implement restrictions on birthright citizenship while litigation continues. While the justices delayed deciding the Trump administration's request to block the lower court's order preventing the president's executive order from taking effect, they scheduled oral arguments to begin on May 15th. So that is pretty cool. And Justice Kagan yesterday, I don't have that story in front of me, but she said she would not hear the case concerning the young man from Mexico being deported.
Correct.
So
let me see if I can find that.
They will not hear that case because the lower court has already decided.
And she did not give any kind of comment, and she did not refer it to her other colleagues.
Right.
She just declined for the court to hear it.
There you go. And the way that works, they divide up those cases, and individual justices have to decide if it's going to go forward or not go forward.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Yeah.
And she drew that one. And so there is hope for us.
Yeah. There is hope that birthright citizenship could be a thing of the past. Tom Homan talking about Garcia's deportation battle. He was on CNN. And boy, I tell you what, they continue to go after him. That's for sure. They continue to go after Tom Homan. Here's what he had to say yesterday.
He's a MS-13 member, which is now classified as a terrorist. So we removed an illegal alien, MS-13 member, who has a final order removal issued by an immigration judge to his homeland.
So should I read that as to say nothing has been done to bring him back to the United States? That's what it sounds like.
I can't speak to everybody in the administration. I can just tell you what my stance is, and I think we did the right thing. I think he's where he should be, and order of withholding that everybody keeps talking about. Order of withholding is you set aside because he's a designated terrorist, which order of withholding is meaningless. I believe, according to the attorneys. And look, even if he came back, people think he's going to be released and go back to no, he's going to be detained. And he's going to be removed as per the order of removal, either to El Salvador or another country. So this person has an order of removal. He's seen 2 different immigration judges, and he's been ordered deported. And that's exactly what happened.
So I don't get it. You've got multiple police officers saying it was MS-13. By the way, his wife admitted it in her restraining order that he was a member of an organization. And then you've got 2 courts that said he's ready to be deported. But that's not enough for these liberals. And I have never seen them this upset since since slavery ended. Democratic Party was upset about that back in the day, too. I just don't get it. All right, Donald Trump talking about the Second Amendment. We'll get to that. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Fenn's Country Market. Fenn's. They can take care of you. All the Easter specials, fryer leg quarters right now, 59 cents a pound. Spare ribs, $1.99 a pound. How about T-bone steaks, $8.77 a pound. Also, shank portion hams, $1.79 a pound. And ground beef, 80% ground beef, just $3.69 a pound. Produce department, red ripe strawberries, $1.69 a pound. Bananas, 49 cents a pound. Cantaloupes, just $1.99 a pound. Beef brisket, just $3.89 a pound. That's perfect for Easter. And if you're looking for stuff in the deli, well, they've got you covered with smoked turkey breast, $6.99 a pound. Virginia smoked ham, $4.99 a pound. Pickle or olive loaf, $5.29 a pound. And you're probably going to need a lot of refreshments. Get in there and take advantage of the 20-pack of 12-ounce cans, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, and other flavors, just $9.99. It's all going on at Finn's in Artesia. Donald Trump talking about drill, baby, drill. We're going to get to that coming up next, 7:03. Tom in the text.
All right. The outlaw says, Tom, did you say Felix landed in Lee County and took off in Roswell? He did. out here somewhere.
Like you said, Lovington.
Or Lovington is in Lee County. So he did land out here. And what, Kevin, hey, Kevin, what's the approval rating of this great administration thus far into this term?
What is the approval rating of what?
For the president?
It's up 2 points from whatever it was up, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was, it's like 53%, if I'm not mistaken.
And a man was controlling the rocket by remote control that those women took off in, says this one texter.
I don't know who was
If
controlling
that's
the
true,
remote.
I don't know. But if it is,
I do know that they did.
Comical.
It is funny. I don't know who it was, but they did have an astronaut who could control it, who had training with them.
Right.
But she was the only one. She was the only one.
In case something
Katy
went wrong.
Perry's like, I'm working the damn joystick.
Yeah, that is funny. And I know this texter says, I love how any history that is made in this area, Tom automatically says he was there. He's such a dummy.
He was there.
I was
He
there.
was
It was
there.
a Sunday afternoon that he took off.
He was there.
Remember that?
He was all the way up 26 miles.
I was right there.
I was in the control center with then Mayor Dale Journey.
24 miles in the air. That's where he was.
Yeah.
He cut me loose. He had to cut me loose because I was holding him down.
And
Of course, back in the day, I was up to like 498 pounds, so.
Did Trump sign the $25
His
million?
parachute, they actually used a pair of Tom's chonies for a parachute.
Well, he landed safely, didn't he?
They were like, we
didn't
can't
say
find
no.
anything. We can't find anything for a parachute. Tom's like, what about these? I don't know. That's that brown streak down the middle.
And this texter says, did Trump sign the $25 million wage increase for everybody?
Look,
Says the texter.
What's a
wage
$25 million wage increase?
$25 million
I
wage for
didn't
everybody.
see
I didn't see
anything about-
$25 million anything.
I did not see that.
Oh, wait, I'm reading it. Did Trump sign the $25 minimum wage for everyone?
Minimum wage. There you go.
No, and I don't think he would ever sign
That would be
a
crazy,
minimum
man.
wage like that. By
No.
God, you want to put us in deep recession?
Right. One more texter says, maybe if we can send Tom to space with no buffets, he might come back a few pounds less, says the
I
texter.
doubt it. Army Corps of Engineers on Tuesday announced an accelerated review of the Michigan pipeline tunnel under the Straits of, is it Mackinac? And following Donald Trump's declaration of national energy emergency, I should say.
Yeah,
So
up there, it's northern Michigan, Mackinac.
yeah. So there's actually 600 pipeline projects that Trump is signed an executive order okaying. So let's get her done. New Mexico agents busted a drug organization. They seized over 10,000 fentanyl pills.
Whoa.
Remember when was it yesterday? We had the 26,000 fentanyl pills, and then we got the 12,000 fentanyl pills. 3 people were arrested,
Right.
and according to this story based in Alamogordo and Lincoln County. So 12th Judicial District Office in Alamogordo. This happened yesterday. They said in August of 2024, a drug trafficking organization was found to be operating in Otero and Lincoln counties and supplying fentanyl from Arizona. Within a month, agents in the White Mountain Drug Task Force identified and disrupted the organization's operations. According to the DA's office, agents in the Alamogordo executed 9 search warrants leading to the arrest of Pearl Guriz of Tularosa and Andrew Sullivan of Alamogordo. They seized 12,000 fentanyl pills, 2 firearms, and one of which was stolen. According to the DA's office, they were turned over to the federal custody and charged by the Drug Administration. They face 10 years in prison. By the way, in addition to that seizure, agents identified Frank Chavez of Capitan, who utilized as the connection to Arizona to supply the fentanyl in New Mexico. And let me just say thank you. We've got a good friend that his brother died from that poison up there in Ruidoso. So thank you. Thank you for shutting it down. And we need more and more and more of just that. Thank you. New Mexico man sentenced for beating and killing a man on the Navajo Nation. Farmington man was sentenced to prison for his role in the torture and killing of the man in 2020. Tyron Bengay, 40 years old, will spend 30 years behind bars, followed by 5 years of supervised release. And Jasmine Crockett throws support behind Salvador illegal alien.
Of course.
Jasmine Crockett, she's a little late to it, but she is 100% behind Mr. Garcia coming back to America. Thank you.
I mean, the Democrat Party is now the party of illegal foreigners.
Oh, no doubt. All right, I wanted to play two cuts before we take our break. It's already 7:10, KWMW Malchamore, 105.1 FM, KWES 93.5 Ruidoso, and KDAZ AM 700 FM 96.9 in Albuquerque. Donald Trump says he's 100% in support of the Second Amendment. He was asked the question by reporters following the shooting at Florida State.
Anything you see broken with gun laws in our
Well, I'm going to have to look. I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I have been from the beginning. I protected it, and these things are terrible. But the gun doesn't do the shooting. The people do. It's a phrase that's used probably too often. I will tell you that it's a shame. I'm just hearing about it now. Just hear about it. I know the area very well. I know the school very well. I know everything about it. It's Florida. And we'll have more to say about it later.
What do you mean when you say there will be more to say about it?
Only in terms of what happened. As far as legislation is concerned, this has been going on for a long time. I have an obligation to protect the Second Amendment. I ran on the Second Amendment, among many other things.
So Donald Trump standing by the Second Amendment, and you don't have to worry about Donald Trump doing anything to take your guns away. He was asked about Jerome Powell, of course, in charge of the Fed. Now, he appointed Powell back in his first term, and Joe Biden said, we want you to stay on, but he came out Wednesday and said some things about we're heading for a recession and that type of stuff, and Trump didn't appreciate what he said. Here's what, and Powell said he's not going anywhere. That's what he said. Trump said,
he says he won't leave, even if you ask him to.
Oh, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. But I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast.
So we'll see where that goes, because they are.
Don't they serve at the whim of the president?
Yeah, no, they're not. They're supposed to be pretty much independent, but we'll see where that goes. Tom, we didn't do the price of oil. Being brought to you by Spinnaker Cementing Solutions, a division of Cud Energy Services. They have 25 cementing crews in New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. 200 experienced cementing professionals. They are there for you. Find them in Hobbs on Magnum Industrial Road, or go to SpinnakerOil.com.
West Texas Intermediate, $64.58, $67.96 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas is $3.24.
All right, we're going to take a break. I'll get you updated with news, but first, a quick look at the weather this morning, being brought to you by Twin Wells Fuel Station If you're out on 128 between Jowl and Carlsbad and you need fuel, exit on Buck Jackson Road, go down 2.75 miles. They're open to the public. They have diesel, unleaded, green diesel, red diesel, DEF value. And look, they accept all your credit cards, debit cards, and your fleet cards. Don't sweat it. Next time you're on 128, exit on Buck Jackson Road. Head to the Twin Wells fuel station. We'll remind you, be safe on the road this morning. Red flag warning and a wind advisory today. 82 the high, but winds getting up to 40 miles an hour from the southwest this morning. Southeast New Mexico, 40 mile an hour winds. In Lincoln County, 55 mile an hour winds. And from the southwest, high temperature 61, chance of snow coming up tomorrow. And in Albuquerque, wind advisory, red flag warning in effect, 61 for the high, and winds will get up to 55 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour tonight, and chance of snow coming up for your Saturday. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. So already 7:15, taking a break. News this morning being brought to you by North Star Laundry, one-stop shop for all of your laundry. Dry cleaning, pressing, starching. They can wash, dry, and fold all your clothes. They can do it all for you. Drop them off, pick them up at a later day. If you want to wash, dry, and fold your own clothes, not a problem. They have coin-operated machines at all of their locations, and they are open 7 days a week. Check them out, 609 West Lee Street in Carlsbad, 604 West Church in Carlsbad, and 406 West Cedar in Loving. The name again, North Star Laundry. Taking a break. We're coming back. It's already 7:15. Be in the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Michael Jimenez of Artesia was acquitted of first-degree murder after a 6-day trial ended in Carlsbad. The jury voted 11-1 in favor of acquittal. Lacking a unanimous verdict, the judge declared a mistrial. Jimenez could face a future trial for second-degree murder, but was released from custody after being imprisoned for 4 years awaiting trial. Jimenez was charged 8 years ago with the killing of Danny Mendez, 49, in a remote area of Eddy County near Fort Dinkus and Haystack Roads. Mendez of Roswell was found beaten to death in a roadway in March of 2017. The suspect behind an arson attack on the headquarters building of the New Mexico Republican Party and the firebombing of a New Mexico Tesla dealership has been revealed to be an Antifa and a Black Lives Matter supporter. Jamison Wagner, 40, of Albuquerque and a registered Democrat, was charged in connection with a February 9th arson attack at the Tesla Albuquerque showroom and a March 30th arson attack at the New Mexico GOP headquarters office, which left the entryway to the building destroyed. Wagner is also listed as being a member of the Radical 500 Queer Scientist Group. And Roswell police officer Brandon Spites, who has been employed with the RPD for about 7.5 years, was arrested on one count of battery against a household member. Spites was charged in relation to an April 3rd incident in which Spites allegedly battered his girlfriend. A petition for an order of protection of domestic abuse was filed by the girlfriend against Spites on April 8th in connection to the incident. Spites was charged last year similarly with assault against a household member following an August 8th incident. 2 days later, that charge was dismissed by the 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office. I'm Blake Ovard, and this is MTD Radio News.
Imagine a world where teams wore plain, uninspired uniforms. Functional? Sure. Eye-catching? Hardly. But as times evolved, so did the demand for standout styles. Entered the era of awesome graphics. Located at 523 West Sanger in Hobbs, New Mexico, they revolutionized team and work attire. Their secret? High-quality FR uniforms from renowned brands like Ariat, Lapco, Byrne, and Bulwark, paired with cutting-edge technology for vibrant, multicolored logos. Awesome Graphics bridges the gap, offering both sports and industrial uniforms that don't just fit well, they inspire. From Nike office shirts to Adidas and Oakley designs, they ensure every team and staff look as professional as they perform. They're not just about appearances at Awesome Graphics, they're about empowering teams. So if you're in Southeast New Mexico and need uniforms that speak volumes, the choice is clear. Visit myawesomegraphics.com and discover how they can elevate your team's image. awesome graphics, where style meets performance.
Come see the Justin Kemp Band and enjoy great food, family fun and games, and a big auction. The Paws and Stripes Benefit Gala. Paws and Stripes provides animal-assisted therapy and mental health services for our disabled U.S. military veterans across the country. And this is your chance to be part of this great military service. May the 3rd, 6 p.m. at Zia Park Casino. Get your tickets and table reservations by calling Tamara James, 575-318-6313, 575-318-6313. The Paws and Stripes Benefit Gala, May the 3rd, with the Justin Kemp Band. Get your tickets before April the 24th.
At Franklin Veterinary Clinic, they're a full-service clinic that offers comprehensive care for family pets, equine athletes, and livestock alike. They have multiple veterinarians on staff providing the best possible care for your animals at every stage of their life. And when emergencies arise, they offer 24-hour ambulatory services and after-hour emergency care. The new emergency number is 575-808-7725. Franklin Veterinary Clinic, a tradition and excellence in caring, proudly serving Lincoln, Chavez, and Otero counties.
Lee County Rides Amusements Carnival is back at the Lee County Event Center. Every ride is here, like Hang 10, Kamikaze, Vertigo, Orbiter, and a big Ferris wheel. Lots of rides for the little kids, too. The wet boats in real water, Jumbo the Flying Elephants, and many more. Enjoy the cotton candy, funnel cakes, lemonade, and handmade pizza. Get a wristband and ride all you want all day for just $40. Now through April 20th at the Lee County Event Center. Rides Amusements, family fun since 1961.
Ruidoso Downs Racetrack is gearing up for fun on the run all summer long. And it all begins with a special preseason appearance by Texas country music superstar Pat Green. Pat Green performs at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack as part of the $25,000 All-American Comeback Barbecue and Music Fest Saturday, May 3rd. Watch the best regional barbecue teams in the Southwest compete for a chance to qualify for the American Royal Nationals, plus shopping vendors, the Kentucky Derby, and Pat Green with special guests Eric Wills and Brian Mars. All-American Comeback Barbecue and Music Festival takes place all day long, with Pat Green on stage at 7 p.m. Tickets are available now at raceruidoso.com. That's raceruidoso.com to see Pat Green. Saturday, May 3rd at Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino. Telephone the box office at 575-378-4140 to see Pat Green.
I'm okay. I'm all right. Okay.
And for fun on the run all summer long, visit raceruidoso.com.
Thank God it's Friday.
In the Breakfast Club, being powered by Permian Ford, with the goal of being your #1 Ford dealer in New Mexico and West Texas. Call 877-396-W105.
Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday.
Whoop-de-do-it. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday.
That is unbelievable, man.
Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
So in my best kindergarten voice, I said,
The answer is
Ruthie Fittipaldi.
that's right. That's right.
Thank God it's Friday.
This is not headline news. Sunday is Easter and 420, which makes sense since you really need to have the munchies to eat peeps. Haley Joel Osment was arrested for public intoxication. So now he's famous for The Sixth Sense and a fifth of whiskey. Machine Gun Kelly thinks he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of white rappers. MGK, aside from the music, even your name's a ripoff. And Time Magazine has released its list of the 100 most influential people of 2025. It'll be read by the 100 people who still subscribe to Time Magazine. This is not headline news.
722, we are B and the Breakfast Club this morning being brought to you by Fusion Medical Spa. Find them in Ruidoso and the River Crossing. They've got 25% off all vitamin C. Everything vitamin C, 25% off. By the way, did you know perfect remedy for skin or energy is vitamin C? Nothing's better than vitamin C. And this month, they're going to give you a 25% off vitamin C IV treatments, skin treatments, and vitamin C supplements. And don't forget the Diamond Glow vitamin C treatment. It was $185, just $100 right now. They also offer a free gift for any purchase of a product or a procedure. So check them out this week. Check them out all month. They've got the 25% discount for the entire month. And don't forget, Dr. Rath also offers the stem cell therapy for knees, shoulders, joints. The procedure uses your white blood cells that actually heal your body without surgery and without going under the knife. And I got a buddy of mine that had hip issue, had it. Awesome. Go check them out. And right now they also have laser hair removal for 20% off. Their number, 575-2574 SPA. That's 257-4772, or in the River Crossing in Ruidoso. Tom and the Tax Butcher away at 724.
All right, this text says, this is Artesia Tom fan, by the way. The Peeps are best eaten out of the freezer. My grandkids tell me that, says the texter. Oh,
I like the stale Peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, though you leave them out for a little while and they get nice and stale, and they're more like you have to break them off like jerky. It's actually good.
Yeah. This texter says, you know what? I was there 1,000 miles away, says the texter. Okay. And on a positive note, RPD is now hiring for 2 officers. Now that's kind of cold-blooded.
Well, RPD has had some tough times. True story. Remember the girl they hired to be an officer, and she ended up trying to get killed with officer involved suicide?
Yep, I remember that.
In Albuquerque. And see, she was arrested for domestic violence also.
Oh, wow.
And then she moved to Albuquerque and had some issues and tried to have the police do the job of suiciding her.
Yeah, but it hadn't happened in a while. I mean, they got good police force down there. And they do need to do away with the justice system and just to put the drug dealers away with their own stuff, says this one texter.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're killing people. Let's just shoot you up with it.
And Good Friday, says this text is all W105. Remember that today is the day that we recognize the crucifixion of Jesus. Today was a dark day, but Sunday is coming, says the texter.
What did you just call it?
Crucifixion?
Crucifixion.
Crucifixion.
What the hell did you call it?
B, don't cuss like that, man.
Hell is not a cuss word. What did you just call it?
He went to the cross and died.
What was it you called it?
He was executed.
He called it crucifixion, which technically, when you analyze words, technically is not wrong, because being crucified, you could say the action taken was a crucifixion, so technically not wrong.
I was in
I've never heard anybody say that.
I was the neighborhood. B, you're up, brother.
He was right there. New survey found that most Americans believe the U.S. isn't doing enough to protect the environment, but they don't. But if they don't like it, they can make like a tree and leave, or maybe they can do something about it. I mean, the environment, you can help with the environment on your own. Why is it up to the government?
True.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm more worried about surviving than worrying about, I am a steward to the environment, but at the same time, we need to survive.
Agreed.
I know there's a lot of celebrities that do a real bad job. They fly around here. They got mega jets, but they'll be the first to talk about the environment. New study says that sports bra designs to eliminate all breast movement may actually increase stress on the spine and potentially raise the risk of back pain during running. Oh, wow. So please, ladies, if you're going to do any running out there, do not wear those sports bras. That's what the study is saying. That's not me
They
saying
spent money on that.
If it was Kevin saying it, he would say, and do it in slow motion.
Yes, of course. Don't run real fast. But I'm not saying that. But study saying that it could cause some back issues later on. And Grey's Anatomy alumnus Jessica Capshaw is set to join 911 Nashville. She's going to be the opposite of Chris O'Donnell.
Really?
Can't wait for that. Breakthrough Prize Awards early this year came out, and Seth Rogen was the host. And ceremony was put on YouTube. Seth Rogen joked about President Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but that part of the broadcast was actually cut out for whatever reason. You would think they'd like that part of it. Donald Trump hosted the Easter dinner last night for worships and prayers. Many of the pastors came out and it says it's good that we have a president that is actually pro-Christianity.
Wow.
I mean, Joe said that he was a Christian and Catholic, but he was pro-abortion. I don't. Can you be, and this is a question I've asked a million times, can you be a Christian and be pro-abortion?
Technically, maybe. I mean, really, for Christianity, it really just all hinges on whether you accepted Jesus as your savior.
Yeah,
So, I mean-
you're right. You're right. Honduran illegal alien charged with incest, arrested by ICE following a release by Virginia Sanctuary County. So, yeah, they let him out. Yeah, but ICE was there to arrest him. Marvin Alberto, 35-year-old Honduran national, accused of incest and aggravated sexual battery in a joint operation involving multiple federal agencies. ICE forced the search of the accused offender. He was arrested in Fairfax County, but they released him, even though he had an ICE detainer. And by the way, he is accused of having sex with 13 and a 17-year-old.
My goodness.
And they were his own kids.
Oh.
B.
Yeah, there was. Well, that's what incest means, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr saying Comcast outlets are misleading Americans about the MS-13 gang member, calling him a Maryland man.
Right.
So Brendan Carr of the FCC said Comcast-owned outlets have misled American public about the Maryland man who is actually a member of the violent gang MS-13, and he said the investigation will continue into this. I say, ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, if you're going to investigate all of them.
Yep.
Please.
Because he's not a Maryland man. He's an El Salvadoran.
Yes. Looks like Ector County Sheriff's Department arrested 3 Odessa high school students yesterday as the school went on lockdown. Louis Tarango, 18-year-old senior, and 2 16-year-old boys were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon, Class A misdemeanor, in the school. In addition, one of the 16-year-olds was charged with unlawful restraint, a felony, Class 3, and the other 2 students came forward to police and said that the boy grabbed them and forced them into a room. This happened before a secure lockdown took effect on campus. At that point, school leaders called for a secure precautionary measure, and that's when the lockdown. But police found the student in the school. He did not have a weapon on him. Police lifted the lockdown about 20 minutes later and cleared the campus room by room. Investigation continues. After the dismissal of school, police were alerted to a car they thought was involved in a retaliation event, and they found a gun in that car. So you got 3 teenagers that have been arrested. So, we talked yesterday about a lot of these arrests are involving teenagers.
Yeah. Because they
don't.
They know that they're only going to get a slap on the wrist.
I think you're on to something there. Donald Trump extended the freeze, the hiring freeze, federal freeze. So no more hiring for another 90 days. Tom, we'll go to you with the text coming up in just a second. IRS agents. Do you think IRS agents should have to pay their taxes?
Sure, like
just like
everybody
us.
else.
Of course.
You think they should have to pay? What about federal workers? You think federal workers should have to pay?
Of course.
So listen to this story on Fox.
For 100,000 federal workers are not paying their taxes. In 2021, the IRS found that almost 150,000 federal workers owe about $1.5 billion in unpaid taxes. Over 5,000 of them work at the IRS and owe $50 million in overdue taxes. Even though the IRS can fire its workers that are not paying their taxes, only 20 people have been terminated. That double standard is something Senator Joni Ernst, Senate Doge Caucus chair, wants to stop. She's introducing several bills aimed at cleaning up the IRS. One bill would require IRS employees to be audited every year and fired if they don't pay their taxes. But while
I agree. I like that.
50,000 IRS agents have not paid their taxes.
Well, and let me ask you this. What do IRS agents do, Tom?
They're supposed to collect taxes, right?
All right. Well, how can they do that if they're not doing it themselves?
That ain't right.
I'm just
Well,
saying.
we know it's not right, Tom.
Well, you can't preach one thing and teach another.
Well, they should be fired immediately.
Right.
They should be.
I agree.
Well, maybe they didn't get around to do it.
Oh, I mean, there's a great answer. They just didn't get around to do it.
They just hired
So they
80,000
shouldn't have
more.
to obey by the same rules that we all have to obey.
Well,
with.
they've been chasing everybody else's taxes and they forgot to do that.
No.
So what you're
No,
saying?
no.
What you're saying is they think they're members of Congress. They don't have to do the rules that everybody.
So they
else
don't have to obey. Oh, so they're like Letitia James, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just like Letitia. Listen to what Letitia James had to say. She didn't say she wasn't guilty, though.
Because
she just got out there and fired brimstone.
It's clear. I'm focused. I'm prepared. I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University.
Howard!
That overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms what Thurgood Marshall once taught. I'm not afraid of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up.
Wait, how old is she? She's talking about segregation and
40s,
Thurgood Marshall.
Yeah. All things
She's
she knows
not
has
old enough
zero
for that.
experience about.
She's not old enough to experience all that stuff. No. Well, she continued listening to what she had to say about getting rid of Donald Trump.
You. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now.
Wait, when did you save the democracy before? And why do you have to yell at people? Why you got to be screaming at people?
Because she's guilty as hell of fraud.
She's guilty of fraud because, she said she was married to her father.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, they went to the house. TV crews went to the house and they were told to please leave or they'd be charged with trespassing.
Of course.
So they didn't want to be charged with trespassing. Santa Fe Indian School announced 2 deaths of the faculty members. This is kind of sketchy until we find out. We don't know a whole bunch. Could be a car accident. Don't know. But the death of 2 faculty members from Santa Fe Indian School shocked the community on Thursday. The school announced the death of the boys' head basketball coach, Jason Abita, and the assistant athletic director, Nathan Abita. They Schools said they're providing counseling for the kids and staff after spring break later this month. The cause of the death is unknown at this point. Tell you what, James Carville. Why do they still turn to James Carville? But every once in a while, he hits a home run. Talking about David Hogg. David Hogg, the guy, the anti-gun David Hogg.
Right.
That guy. He is the vice chair of the DNC.
Yep.
Did a big fundraiser, but sent the money to his own nonprofit corporation, not the DNC.
That's funny.
That's the Democratic way. But strategist James Carville blasted the DNC vice chair and is planned to spend $20 million to launch primary challenges against ineffective Democratic lawmakers. So what Hogue is saying is that they want to take out ineffective Democrat people that are already in office,
right,
and really don't have Republican opposition, but they want to put somebody better in those seats.
Well,
and spend $20 million doing it. James Carville said that is ridiculous. And Mark Cuban backs Donald Trump's health care executive order on prescription drugs. So let me get this right. Mark Cuban backing Donald Trump's executive order on prescription drugs. The billionaire on Wednesday expressed support for Donald Trump's executive order on health care and drug pricing, despite a long-standing opposition to many of the president's policies. Mark Cuban, of course, founded pharmaceutical firm Cost Plus Drugs back in 2022, so he knows a little bit about the drug industry.
Right.
So thank you, Mark Cuban. I found some respect for Mark Cuban, saying, I was wrong. I think this is a great idea. We'll talk about the Real ID coming up next. Tom and the text.
All right, this texter's being kind of funny. He says, turn his mic off, would you please? Sorry, can't happen.
No, that's not being funny. That's just being accurate.
Monica Hader says, wasn't that lady threatening the president? That's the texter.
Yep, she was. Letitia James.
James.
She's done nothing but threaten the president since before he was even president.
We're coming for him.
Coming for him. B.
That's all I get.
So we
when Monica's here, she reads like 7, 8.
All we got right now.
Well, that's probably because they know you're going to butcher them.
Probably. It's been very light on the text line today.
It's Good Friday.
Well, and a lot of people are not working today because it is.
Let's while we're sitting right here, why don't we go ahead and do the Rig Outfitters question?
Let's do it.
All right, go ahead and do the Rig Outfitters.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to
count on him to count right though.
No, I'm going to count. So we're going to take the fifth person who gets this right. Yesterday, what did B say we should eat every day before bed or daily for better health? Again, what did Kevin say that you should eat every day for better health? I'll take the fifth texture.
And
you remember?
Correct texture too.
Yeah, it's got to be the correct answer.
Of course.
We talked about it quite a bit. So.
Yeah, let's take out trash, being brought to you by Trash Eaters, trash-eaters.com. If you need residential trash pickup, they have you covered. They also have, they do commercial pickup. So they have the big dumpsters, the 2- and 4-yard dumpsters, the metal ones. And if you need a roll-off container, you're on location right now, and you need a container, call Kayleen, 575-408-1719. They are veteran-owned and operated, locally owned and operated. Good folks. Find them at trash-eaters.com. For a long, long time, Venezuela, now I can't talk, for about 2 decades has been a socialist country.
Right.
And have attacked Christianity. 97% of people living in Venezuela, and I can't say it now,
Venezuela.
Still believe in God after 2 decades. Proving the point is that even when the government tells you not to believe, most people are still going to believe. So the belief in God, 97%, but still believe in God.
Wow.
Even after the country has abandoned God. 63% of respondents say they identify as Catholic, even though they have shut down the Catholic churches many, many years ago. Tom, what other country recently said they're not going to allow people to celebrate Easter Sunday?
China, one of them.
Cuba.
And
Cuba recently said they would not allow anybody to celebrate Easter Sunday. Unbelievable. I can't even tell you. I think he's rubbing off on me this morning. Holy crap. Holy crap. All right, 744. Tom, you got a winner?
I do.
Yeah, we
Hold
do.
on, I'm getting it right now.
All right. Morning show being
winner
brought
is Matthew Brown this morning.
Matthew Brown. Congratulations, Matthew Brown.
There you go, Matthew. Congratulations, buddy.
Why you had to say his name like that?
Matthew Brown. I don't know, sounded good.
Not really.
Like James Brown. Matthew Brown. Hey. There you go.
Okay. You forget to take your meds today, or
I haven't taken. I got them in my pocket. Thanks for reminding me.
Oh, got them in my. It's a
That
good
means
place.
there'll be a trail down the hall.
A bunch of lint mixed in there. I'll be taking the lint too. Morning show being brought to you by A Custom Construction and Roofing and Insurance Specialist, licensed, bonded, and insured, locally owned and operated. Look, Dwayne Pennick's the guy. He has owned A Custom Construction and Roofing for 30 years, and for 30 years, the Better Business Bureau has given them the A+ rating. If you have a construction job or you have an issue with your roof, let them go out. Look, they work with insurance companies every single day. Let them be the go-between. 575-318-9725, A Custom Construction and Roofing, warning you about those out-of-town, unlicensed contractors. When they're gone, the warranty is gone. Maine student talks about their governor. Their governor, Janet Mills, said that she's going to fight Donald Trump for men competing against girls. Why is this so important? What do you think the population of transgenders in a state like Maine? Maine is a small state to begin with. You think it's like 0.25%?
Oh, I don't even think it's that high, honestly.
So why is it that important?
Well, because, again, they want to be the party of things that normal people know are wrong.
When I look at at this guy that was taken to El Salvador, why is that so important?
Because they want to defend criminals.
I just don't get it. But listen to this young lady from Maine talking about the governor, Janet Mills.
My first experience was when I was 13 years old. I was going to change for gym, and I walked into the locker room, and there was a biological male there. From that point on, my junior year, I competed in Nordic skiing and lost to a biological male numerous of times. I am fighting this fight for generations to come. And the fact that our governor can look the women of our state in the eyes and say, I'm not going to fight for you, is heartbreaking, and it's betrayal, like Riley said.
Where are the women's rights activists? Where are you? Where are you? You're not fighting for girls anymore.
No.
You're just not.
They're fighting for men who pretend to be girls.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yep, that's it. Officials reminding all New Mexicans to get the real ID. Deadline is approaching. Now, I will say this much. You probably don't need the real ID if you're not getting on a plane. After decades of planning, the clock is ticking on the federal mandate tied to New Mexico driver's licenses. By the way, if you live in Texas, you already have the real ID. You don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But in New Mexico, you might have a driver's license that is not accepted on the plane. Deadline is tied to the federal real ID requirements. Albuquerque Sunport said just under 3 weeks, the feds will not accept New Mexico driver's license that are the old driver's license.
I got my new one.
Without the gold star on the driver's license.
Yep.
So in 3 weeks, if you don't have the gold star, you will not be allowed to get on the plane. Now, I know for a fact that New Mexico offered 2 types of driver's licenses. The real ID was a little bit more expensive. Tom, what driver's license do you have?
I have the real ID now.
So do you have your wallet in your pocket?
Right now. I'm taking it out right now.
So look at your driver's license. Okay. Does it have a star in the corner?
Got a little gold star
gold
on the right-hand side.
You have a gold star.
Top right corner. Let me see.
Let me get it out. There it is.
Yes, that is a real ID.
So mine does not have a star. It has the Zia symbol on the right-hand corner.
You better get one when you're here, brother.
I don't need one. I have a passport.
Oh, well then, no, never mind.
I don't need one because I have a passport. I have a passport card and a passport. I have both of them.
Not going to do any good if you get stopped by the cops out here in New Mexico, though.
What does that have to do with anything?
A lot. Well, how come you don't get your real ID? Well, because, I'm not living here. Well, you need to go get it.
I don't have to have a real ID to drive.
I love these conversations he has in his head.
Just to fly. I appreciate you listening to the show. Thank you. God bless you.
Just saying, brother.
Well, why don't you have the conversation that he just laid out? Why don't you have a real ID? Well, because I don't live here. Well, you better go get one then. That was his conversation.
Justin Kagan denies the emergency appeal to halt the deportation of Mexican nationals claiming asylum from the cartel. By the way, Elaine Keegan, the justice, who is liberal, on Wednesday denied the emergency appeal by 4 Mexican nationals facing deportation. The request asked the court to temporarily block the removal so that they could file a petition for review. Keegan denied the application without comment and did not refer the matter to her colleagues. So all 4 will be deported. Now, what they were saying was that due to the violence, the cartel violence, they couldn't go back to Mexico. And I'm here to say we got cartel violence in the United States.
Yep.
The cartel wants you, they're going to get you.
Yep.
No matter if it's in the United States or in Mexico, they're going to get you. Protest rally against Donald Trump's administration was held at the University of New Mexico campus. So about 100 people showed up. Yeah, they about 100 people showed up, and they're fired up, Tom. They're fired up. And this is all about them taking money away from Harvard.
Right.
What? You go to UNM, not Harvard. Why are you upset? Because you're professional protesters. That's the reason why.
Yep.
No other reason. Professional protesters. All right, 7:52. Tom and the texts. We got to get to things that happened on this date in history.
All right, Jimmy Burnside is chiming in. He said, they said in the news yesterday, B, it won't be much longer and you'll have to have a real ID, period. Passports won't be sufficient either, says Jimmy Burnside. Okay. Didn't hear about that, but I guess you're right. My star is white, says this other texter. And I think the Maine and Maryland people and most protesters, this text is saying, want media attention. And the politicians, too. They all love the camera. Artesia Tompan is chiming in this morning. And Tom goes pill hunting with a basket around your building for Easter while everybody else goes Easter egg hunting. That's Junior Munoz this morning.
Yeah, because you can follow, if he puts them in his pocket in the morning, wherever he walks, there's a trail.
Well, at least
so what he does, he goes to the restroom, he sits down, they fall out in the restroom. Then he comes in the studio, he sits down, they're all over the place.
Yep. Well, they sometimes fall out, but you know.
You ever thought about getting one of those medicine containers that, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, but then I would forget when to take them.
No, it tells you. Monday a.m., Monday p.m.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
You're going to have to get the one that my mom has. It has an alarm on it.
Oh, for real?
So it goes off when she's supposed to take her morning meds, and then it goes off when it's supposed to take her afternoon or nighttime meds.
I'm going to go see my kitty doctor today, and I've got like 8 or all those bottles I put in the little plastic bag. I thought, man, I take that much medicine? Wow.
Well, you don't. You drop it on the floor.
That's true, too.
But the point is, yes, you do take all those medicines.
I do take them.
Keep doing the same thing. I'm sure he's going to tell you.
In-law Outlaw says, Tom, did you say Felix landed in Lovington and took off in Roswell? Yeah, he did. He landed out here somewhere in Lee County in the middle of the desert.
You read the same text twice, you read it the first time.
Another texter had asked about that, too. But you're right, though. I mean, he did land out here. Quote of the day from Tom A. Haven't heard of that, but I guess you're right, says the texter. Okay. And Tom, where's he going to hide his 2 huevos on Sunday, says the texter.
Huh?
What are huevos?
Well, let me go look.
Weeblos?
Yeah,
Huevos?
I think he's trying to say your huevos.
He's talking. You don't know what that means?
No, what are huevos?
Your
Huevos,
eggs.
Toms. Huevos.
Oh, Easter eggs.
Werewolves. So your eggs.
Man, I'm not even Mexican, and I figured that out.
Your eggs.
Eggs. Oh.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not going to go Easter hunting.
Oh
my God.
Even after couple more texts, then we're getting to things that happened on this date in history.
You did that one.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen, and Monica, wherever you are. Thank you for doing the show on this Good Friday, going through some stressful stuff, but all that seems to go away, reflecting on what was sacrificed for us on this day on Calvary. Thank you for your show. You have no idea how much you help people start their day off in a good way. That's John and Pyote. Good morning to you.
Good morning,
Hey,
John.
thank you so much, and I hope things get better.
Yes, I hope so, too. One more text. I bet you there was no money in Tom's wallet, says the text.
Well, most of the time, you can't even find his wallet.
Well, I got it out here. I was taking it out here.
Well, if he knew that he was going to have to buy food, he wouldn't be able to find it.
Oh, no, he did. That wallet would be gone. All right, we're going to get to things that happened on this date in history. Our buddies at La Tienda Thriftway remind you, get in there for the taco bar. You're hungry, get in there. They've got delicious tacos made with the tortillas made from scratch. Corn or flour tortillas. And, of course, all your chips, all your shells, they've got all of that. And, look, they don't make tortillas one time in the morning and then forget about it. They make tortillas multiple times a day so they remain fresh. Go check them out at La Tienda in Carlsbad. Some of the savings for Easter: fryer leg quarters, 59 cents a pound. Spare ribs, $1.99 a pound. T-bone steak, $8.77 a pound. $1.79 for a shank portion ham and ground beef. 80% lean ground beef, $3.69 a pound. And don't forget, they do have brisket on sale right now for $3.89 a pound, and pork shoulder roast, Boston butt pork shoulder for $1.49 a pound. From the produce department, red ripe strawberries, 1 pound for $1.69. Cantaloupes for $1.99 each. Asparagus, $1.99 a pound. And bananas for 49 cents a pound. Deli department, you can get turkey breast, $6.99 a pound, $4.99 for smoked ham, and the olive loaf or pickle loaf for $5.29 a pound, and white split top bread for $1.48 a loaf. And if you're looking for refreshments, yes, they've got you covered. Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, get them all. A 20-pack, get it today. Make that a 30-pack. 12-ounce cans for $25.99. Get it today at La Tienda in Carlsbad. Weather today looks like the wind is still going to be a factor all day today. Southeast New Mexico, 40-mile-an-hour winds from the southwest. High temperature getting up to 82. Red flag warning and a wind advisory throughout the day. Lincoln County, red flag warning and a wind advisory. In fact, winds up to 55 miles an hour. 61 for the overnight for the high today. Snow in the forecast Saturday and the Saturday night. And if you're in Albuquerque, 61 and 55 mile an hour winds today. Red flag warning and a wind advisory. Snow in the forecast for Saturday into Saturday night. 5-day forecast, go to W105radio.com. KWMW Maltramore, 105.1 FM. KWES, 93.5 Ruidoso. And KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9. Things that happened on this date in history being brought to you by 2A Tactical Firearms, the indoor firing range, 236 East Navajo and Hobbs. Veteran-owned and operated with the largest selection of firearms. They're open 7 days a week. They have the state-of-the-art indoor firing range, plus the Milo FBI training simulator. Pay by the month or pay by the hour. They have a lot of ammo, large selection of optics and suppressors, safes, tactical gear, and so much more. Find them today, and don't forget, financing is available. 2atacticalrange.com or visit them at 236 East Navajo in Hobbs, open 7 days a week. Proud sponsor of things that happen on this date in history.
No Monica today, so Kevin, you're up. It was on this day in 1775 that Paul Revere made his famous midnight ride and fashion prediction.
The British are coming.
Yeah. He said the redcoats are coming. The redcoats are coming.
Neighborhood.
Because he was British at the time, Tom. He wouldn't say the British. And spoiler alert, they came.
Oh.
In 1906, the great San Francisco earthquake struck at 5:13 a.m. It was estimated somewhere between 7.9 and 8.3 on the Richter scale.
Wow.
Was followed by a lot of fires that took weeks to actually contain. 700 people died and about 250,000 people were left homeless.
In 1989, there was another one.
No, that was 1906.
Yeah.
And this date in 1924, the first crossword puzzle book was published by Simon & Schuster. In 1934, the very first coin-operated laundry opened in Fort Worth, Texas. They called it a washateria. And if you got old-time folks around the North Texas area, they call every laundromat a washateria.
Right.
And in 1955, super genius Albert Einstein died in Princeton, New Jersey. He was 76 years old. All right. Today is Amateur Radio Day. Boy, have you come to the right place today. Newspaper Columnist Day, National Velociraptor Day, National Transfer Money to Your Daughter's Account Day, and Pet Owners Independence Day. It's Good Friday, which we talked about at the top of the show. It actually means holy. And Good Friday is actually observed as a federal holiday in 12 states, Kevin. Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, North Carolina, North Dakota, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Texas. 23
My
days.
wife told me that today. Why are you working? It's Good Friday.
Yeah, Holy Friday.
Well, because somebody needs to pay the bills.
Hey, just tell her it's 23 days till Mother's Day and 35 days until Memorial Day weekend. So there you go. Parties galore. Chloe Bennett turns 33 today. That's Tom's way of saying he didn't ever watch Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Interior Chinatown. Actress America Ferrera turns 41 today.
She started the movie Women Have Curves.
I'm going to give it to Kevin for Ugly Betty. I would have given it to you if you would have said Barbie.
Yeah, she was in that too.
All right. Well, Reeve Carney is 42 today. He played Riff Raff in the Rocky Horror Picture Show remake. And he was the immortal Dorian Gray in Penny Dreadful. You don't have that, do you, Kevin?
No.
Okay.
I didn't go back.
Miguel Cabrera is 42 today. Kevin?
I'm going to give you a chance. Go ahead.
Detroit Tigers MVP.
10-year contract, 2004, $300 million, Tom.
Yes. You get points taken away for not knowing that, sports guy. Don't you think? Yeah, I think so. About $1 million.
I agree.
Melissa, that was the one I thought for sure, oh, he's going to get this one. And then he did his sound effect.
Let's see if he does this one. We'll give him a chance. I won't buzz in.
Melissa Joan Hart is 49.
She was on that daily TV show back in the day.
No.
I'm going to say she's now Sabrina the Middle-Aged Witch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Not the teenage
Tom,
witch.
you're wrong.
All right. He won't get this one either because he doesn't ever watch anything popular, but hopefully other people do. David Tennant is 54 today. Okay. He's Crowley on Good Omens. He was Kilgrave.
He was on Jessica Jones.
Yes, he was Kilgrave, or the Purple Man on Jessica Jones. Yeah. And before that, he was the 10th and the 14th Doctor on Doctor Who, and is arguably, aside from Tom Baker, the most popular Doctor on Doctor Who ever.
Yeah.
Both Eric McCormick of Will and Grace and Conan O'Brien turned 62 today. Comedian Jeff Dunham turns 63
Tom, what
today.
makes him special?
He's one of them ventricularists.
A what?
See? He's rubbing off on me.
Yes. He's a ventriloquist, Tom.
Isn't that what I said?
So what you're saying
Name a character
is
that he has.
He puts his hand up a doll's butt.
Yes.
And
then makes
what you're
jokes about
saying?
it.
Akeem.
No, name a character, Tom.
For a jalapeno guy.
What's his name?
Chili.
No, it's Jose.
Oh.
Name any other one.
The old man guy.
Okay, what's his name?
Biden.
Walter. And he does look like Joe Biden.
Yeah,
but
he does.
his most famous one is probably Ahmed.
Akeem.
Ahmed.
There you go. One of those. I was in the damn neighborhood.
The funny thing about Walter is he looked like Joe Biden before Joe Biden looked like Joe Biden. Jane Leaves is 64 today. They say she's got quite a temper. She was known as Daphne on Frasier. Eric Roberts is 69 today. Heck of a nice guy. A lot of fun to hang around. Julia's brother and father of Scream Queen star Emma Roberts. Name a movie, because he's been in 768 movies.
Really? I mean, wow. That Christmas movie he had a minute back in December.
Yes, Santa's Cousin. That is a local movie made in New Mexico. I am so happy you said that.
Yep.
He
got it.
He was nominated for Oscar for Runaway Train, and a lot of people know that. He was also a mob boss in the Dark Knight movie.
Yep.
Rick Moranis turned 72 today.
Ghostbusters.
Ding ding. Name another one.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Ding ding.
The Little
Parenthood.
Giants. The Little Giants.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, he's known for shrinking.
Flintstones.
Stepped away from Hollywood because his wife was sick and he had to take care of her, or died. One of the two, I forget.
She died.
And so he had to take care of the kids. So he stepped away from Hollywood like altogether. James Woods turns 78 today.
Coming to America.
Was he in Coming to
Big
America?
time
Yeah.
conservative.
Yeah, very much. So I was going to say, in the animated movie Hercules, he was Hades. He was in Videodrome with Debbie Harry. Do you remember that one, Kevin?
Yeah.
He was in Against
No.
All. He was in Against All Odds. He was the jealous boyfriend.
Yes.
And then of course he was in John Carpenter's Vampire as Vaya con Dios Slayer.
Been a lot of good movies.
Yeah. Haley
Wasn't
Mills.
he in like the miniseries Holocaust opposite of Meryl Streep?
He might have been. He's been
Yep.
in a lot of stuff, and it always a great actor, whatever you get him in.
But you missed one. Wasn't he in Oppenheimer?
He may have been. I don't remember.
No, he was the executive director or producer, one of those.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Oppenheimer.
Right.
But he was the executive producer.
And Once Upon a Time in America, he was in that movie.
You saw that movie?
He was a mobster, yeah.
You saw Once Upon a Time in America?
De Niro was in that one.
Wow.
Some of the guys.
I am, Tom, I am amazed that you sat through a movie that was that violent.
It was a good movie. I liked
It was a good movie. Totally. Finally, Haley Mills is 79 today, and I know that Tom knows who
Parent
this is.
Parent Traps.
Yeah.
I said it before you. Sorry, you have to be a little quicker.
So at one time when her name would come up, people would think of Pollyanna. Now I kind of think of Polly Grip. Anyway, that she was the Parent Trap. So Kevin, you got what, like 400 million points today, and Tom has like five, right?
Yep. Sorry, Tom.
Because he had the negative points.
Well, at least I
Yeah,
got some.
we had to take points away from him. All right, 8:10, we are beyond the Breakfast Club. We'll return. Got a lot of things to talk about. We'll talk about a New Mexico man pled guilty to reselling guns in the United States. And he was actually selling them to Mexico, if I got that right. We'll talk about that. House committee opens an investigation into the Harvard's civil rights issues. We'll talk about that. Oversight is looking into that. And we'll talk about the Marines that were killed in that military vehicle. And liberals are making a big deal about this, that they died in New Mexico and they shouldn't even been on the border. We'll talk about that. And Letitia James reaps what she sows.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that case. And we'll also talk about a bribery trial. The Menendezes, well, looks like Mama Menendez will go to court. And at some point, we'll talk about Kyle and what was the other Menendez brother?
Lyle
They're
and
finally
Eric.
going to have Eric.
Yeah,
They're
Eric.
finally going to have their day in court. We'll get to that.
Didn't
8:11.
Rosie O'Donnell say that she's like a big sister to them?
Oh, I'm sure she probably used to babysit. Yeah. Yeah. You know, one's turned gay in prison, Tom.
One's married, too.
One's married and one's gay.
Yeah.
He's only gay for this
Okay.
day.
Well, I mean, yeah.
As Tom said earlier.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's get to the national anthem and the pledge this morning, being brought to you by Rebecca Long. Rebecca Long, she could take care of all of your insurance. Call her today. Let her put together a quote to meet your needs. You know, she can take care of your life insurance, home, auto, recreational insurance, commercial insurance. She does it all. Look, and she's been doing it a long time, 40 plus years. She started her business at 19 years of age with farmers, and she would love to chat with you about your insurance, how she could save you money, and probably more important than saving you money. I know saving money is very important. To make sure you're not underinsured. If you're underinsured and there is an accident and and you file a claim and it says that your home is only worth $200,000 and it's actually worth $300,000, there's going to be some issues. Make sure, that's very, very important. Get in touch with her. 575-393-2661. Call Rebecca Long today. Proud sponsor of the national anthem and the pledge.
We are the Dominguez family from Hobbs, New Mexico. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight? Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
8:14 after 8. Large prayer this morning being brought to you by Judah Oil, reminding you God is in complete control.
From the book of Mark this morning. And with a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last breath. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus saw how he died, he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God."
This is Ashley with Judah Oil, and I ask that you join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who've trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
15 minutes after 8. We are B and the Breakfast Club. Let's check in, find out what is going on this morning with all the news. Being brought to you by Ragsdale Law Firm. Luke Ragsdale, reminding you when accidents happen, it's usually when you least expect them. When they do, you need a trusted law firm to fight for you. That is the Ragsdale Law Firm, specializing in car accidents, personal injury, medical malpractice, and also accidents. Based in Roswell, serving all of Southeast New Mexico. Call today for a free consultation. You pay nothing unless they win your case. RagsdaleLawFirm.com or call Luke Ragsdale, 575-208-5300. Coming right back. We're B on the Breakfast Club, 8:16 already.
News. I'm CJ Papa. President Trump reveals the U.S. is chatting with China.
President Trump says that Chinese officials have been in touch with American officials over these tariffs and that the two countries could reach an agreement within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, the president did strike a trade deal with China in his first term, though Beijing never fulfilled its commitments.
Fox's Rich Jetson at the White House. Students evacuated during the mass shooting at Florida State University will be allowed to collect their personal belongings later today.
2 people confirmed dead. Authorities say they are not students, and we're working to find out more about the 6 people injured who are in the hospital right now. But students who go here to FSU are understandably very shaken up.
That's Fox's Madison Scarpino on the campus in Tallahassee. America's listening to Fox News.
Imagine a world where teams wore plain, uninspired uniforms. Functional? Sure. Eye-catching? Hardly. But as times evolved, so did the demand for standout styles. Enter the era of awesome graphics. Located at 523 West Sanger in Hobbs, New Mexico, they revolutionized team and work attire. Their secret? High-quality FR uniforms from renowned brands like Ariat, Lapco, Byrne, and Bulwark, paired with cutting-edge technology for vibrant, multicolored logos. Awesome Graphics bridges the gap, offering both sports and industrial uniforms that don't just fit well, they inspire. From Nike office shirts to Adidas and Oakley designs, they ensure every team and staff look as professional as they perform. They're not just about appearances at Awesome Graphics, they're about empowering teams. So if you're in Southeast New Mexico and need uniforms that speak volumes, the choice is clear. Visit myawesomegraphics.com and discover how they can elevate your team's image. Awesome Graphics, where style meets performance.
This April, get showered with winning at Inn of the Mountain Gods. Don't miss out on our $33,200 Spring Fever Slot Tournament. Earn entries every Saturday for your chance to take part in the weekly slot tournament. Be one of the top 10 scorers and you could take home up to $2,000 in free spirit play. The $33,200 Spring Fever Slot Tournament at Inn of the Mountain Gods. Must be 21 or older. Visit innofthemountaingods.com or see Apache Spirit Club booth for details.
This is Davis Smith, the Gorilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
What's really going on? Daniel Velos back at it again at Permian Ford Lincoln, your new home of the Big Blue Gorilla. You'll see why whenever you come by. Check it out. Anyway, glad to be back powering B in the Breakfast Club. Also excited to be back here at Permian Ford making all the deals for all of Southeast New Mexico and West Texas that are so outrageous you'll think twice about buying or selling your car anywhere else. Text me today, 575-441-7855. We have a radio discount code, Breakfast Club. That's 575-441-7855. Radio discount code, Breakfast Club. PermianFord.com.
At Franklin Veterinary Clinic, they're a full-service clinic that offers comprehensive care for family pets, equine athletes, and livestock alike. They have multiple veterinarians on staff providing the best possible care for your animals at every stage of their life. And when emergencies arise, they offer 24-hour ambulatory services and after-hour emergency care. The new emergency number is 575-808-7725. Franklin Veterinary Clinic, a tradition and excellence in caring, proudly serving Lincoln, Chavez, and Otero counties.
If you, your business, or your organization is needing a venue or facility to host a meeting, convention, party, or other special event, don't cram everyone into your tiny little office. Call the Lee County Event Center. You don't have to fill up the main floor. The Event Center has many other smaller rooms that are perfect for meetings, seminars, parties, and other special events. The Lee County Event Center, seating for 25 or 2,500, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs. Call 575-391-2100 or visit LeeCountyEvents.com.
At Coffee Drilling LLC, they offer a wide range of drilling services from small domestic water to agricultural and monitor wells. In addition to mud and rotary drilling, Coffee Drilling offers services to pre-existing wells as well as troubleshooting of pumps and all control systems. Call Coffee Drilling today to schedule your routine maintenance or see about an upgrade to your water system. Call 505-270-1767. That's 505-270-1767. Coffee Drilling LLC, over 20 years experience and serving all of Hobbs, Lovington, and Eunice.
Come see the Justin Kemp Band and enjoy great food, family fun and games, and a big auction. The Paws and Stripes Benefit Gala. Paws and Stripes provides animal-assisted therapy and mental health services for our disabled U.S. military veterans across the country. And this is your chance to be part of this great military service. May the 3rd, 6 p.m. at Zia Park Casino. Get your tickets and table reservations by calling Tamara James, 575-318-6313, 575-318-6313. The Paws and Stripes Benefit Gala, May the 3rd, with the Justin Kemp Band. Get your tickets before April the 24th.
Thank God it's Friday.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The number one way to wake up. Be in the Breakfast Club powered by Carlsbad Ford. Talk to one of the good guys today. Call now, 877-396-W105.
Happy Friday.
We'll dance up a storm and later on night.
Now and take the next 2 days off. How's that?
Do that again. You are so stupid.
That's right.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
That's right. There is nothing wrong with your radio. That's right.
This is crazy. What's going on here? Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday. I'm out of control. Forget the working blues and let the good times roll.
All we want to do is pop you up.
Thank God it's Friday.
No way, dude. Puff, puff, Passover, dude. Here comes Peter Cottonmouth, rising from his smoke-filled couch. Sticky, icky, icky, icky pizza's on its way. A bunny-shaped bong made of glass, a basket full of Easter grass, things to make 420 really great. He's best buds with that bunny, there will be no Easter hunt, unless it's for some munchies or if someone hides a blunt. There goes Peter Cottonmouth. On his couch he has passed out. Sticky, icky, 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 Easter's best this way.
Easter sure has changed when it falls on 420.
Sure does.
Huh.
Kind of crazy.
Just
by the way,
make sure
all
you
the
have
candy will be eaten.
Yeah, you got to have
count
extra.
on that.
Extra.
Yeah.
Have extra.
All the candy will be eaten. No problem. Looks like a popular spring break destination officially tells travelers to go elsewhere. Look, this is where I went on my senior trip, graduation trip, Panama City, Florida. Panama City, Florida has told spring breakers, this is crazy because this is the biggest time of the year for Panama City, Florida. But they have said enough's enough. There have been shootings, there have been fightings, there have been just terrible behavior. And this is not the first year. But Bay County has said enough's enough. Sheriff's Department's Facebook page, authorities highlighted their efforts to combat the violence in the area. And that is the problem. You know, back in the day, we were, we get tanked up.
Yeah.
But shootings? Shootings? I mean, so they've said enough. They don't want spring breakers back. Fair enough. The only place eventually, Miami said the same thing last year.
Yep.
The only place that's going to be available would be like Cabo or, where you have to go to foreign countries. Where's Cabo, Tom?
Cabo's in Mexico.
Oh, Tom scores one.
Ding, ding, give me
then they'll kidnap you.
Bad behavior. San Antonio Zoo shared a photo of their latest arrival this week, a pygmy falcon, weighing barely more than a quarter, which means zookeepers are opposite of Star Wars fans.
Okay.
They actually get a chick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Blake. Sorry.
Don't apologize to me.
Looks like hottest show in Sweden these days. 20 days continuous coverage of the moose migrations. Can you imagine just sitting around watching the moose migration? In Sweden, this is a big, big deal. The moose migrations.
Tom,
and
where
in
do
the UK,
they migrate to, Tom?
They migrate to Cabo.
Yes, they're migrating to Cabo. In the U.S., they're having good results with the weight loss pill that would you would take it every day, and it would replace the current weekly injections of Ozempic.
Really?
taking the stomach shot is not fun.
No, I used to take them.
Define used to take them.
Well, I actually lost 12 pounds on it, but then my stomach started to hurt, so I didn't take it anymore.
Was that like 2 days?
By the way, that is a side effect of Ozempic. My wife's on it currently.
Yep.
She's lost 25 pounds, but stomach issues. And supposedly there's another drug that's the same type of drug that you don't have the stomach issues. Now, it doesn't say that you wouldn't have the same issues with the pill. I bet you would. And Lee Corso retiring after 38 years, game day coverage, college game day. And Corso was alongside Chris Fowler, Craig James in the beginning.
Yep.
And started when they went on the road in 1993. 32 years ago, for those with bad math, Tom, he's decided to hang it up. And last year he was barely hanging on. It was pretty pathetic. It was like Joe Biden. And so I'm glad that he has hung it up. You know, go home, enjoy yourself.
Well, like
because that's people don't believe that's a 3-day job, at minimum of 3 days. They get on location on a Thursday, they work Friday, and then they've got Saturday.
Yep. It was like
just too much for 80+ year old. Last night, what happened?
Night, I hung up my umpire shoes.
Like in your
Have
bus
you been
or
doing
what?
that for 32 years, Tom, and making millions of dollars?
17 years, and I decided yesterday was just, I couldn't do it no more.
So did you go somewhere to umpire yesterday?
I did.
And did you finish the game?
All 3 of them.
And then you said, that's it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, I had a tournament over the weekend, and I couldn't move, and I thought, Father Time has caught up with me.
Well, let me ask you a serious question.
What?
All due respect. Could that be because of the weight
Probably
that you have gained in the last couple months?
So I told my buddy Chris, he said, maybe you just need to lose some weight. I said, yeah, I'm going to come back in the wintertime.
Could that be associated with that?
Well, I'm going to work on it now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I love you, brother, but I don't believe a damn word you say when it comes to losing weight.
So I told the concession
Prove
lady.
me wrong.
I told the concession lady, I'll volunteer to help you. Maybe that's a good place to lose weight.
Prove me wrong.
You
Prove
think
me
the
wrong.
concession stand is a good place to lose weight?
Yes.
And how many people have said they would help you, and it's gone nowhere? Shout out to my boy in Lovington, Shardy.
What about Shorty?
Hanging up the cleats.
He will work out with you every day if you go up there. He said so on
So
the text.
let me ask
Right,
you
Shorty?
this much.
Right,
Do you
Shorty?
actually wear cleats?
Well, my tennis shoes, athletic shoes.
So they're not cleats, so you're not hanging up the cleats.
Well, it's a. But
And we were
Are you
talking
still a
about
member
Lee
at
Corso.
these places?
I am.
We were talking about Lee Corso, 32 years.
Well, he never
you
never
and-
officiated 17 years of softball, and 6 years of football, and 8 years of basketball. That catches up with you, man.
Anyone else out there who's a referee who is in their 60s and wants to chime in on this?
Still
feel
going
free.
strong.
877-396-9105.
I know multiple people. I know one gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name. He works for Lee County. He's a real referee.
Who is he?
I'm not going to mention his name, Tom.
Maybe I
Santa
appreciate-
Fe man pled guilty in federal court to purchasing a large quantity of guns and reselling them to buyers in the United States and Mexico, according to U.S. Department of Justice. New Mexico man accused of illegally obtaining guns and then reselling those guns. Daniel Ruiz purchased 145 guns at the same time, or similar type guns, from the federal firearms licenses in Las Vegas. and in Henderson, Nevada. Officials said shortly after the purchase, many of those guns crossed the border into Mexico. 18 of those guns purchased by Ruiz were registered by individuals through various parts of Mexico. According to the DOJ, Ruiz knew many of those guns he purchased would be transferred outside the United States. He did not have a license as a firearms dealer to sell or export firearms. He pled guilty to one count of engaging in business and dealings of firearms without a license. He is going to face a maximum of 5 years in prison, 3 years supervised probation. His sentencing is not coming up until August of next year. House Committee for is opening their investigation into Harvard when it comes to civil rights violations after it rejected the Trump administration's demands to address anti-Semitism on the campus. But James Comer says they will look at civil rights violations on the campus. And 2 Marines killed in New Mexico. Liberals are saying that, they shouldn't have been in New Mexico. They were part of the 1st Marine Division, and they were there as part of the Joint Task Force Southern Border Operation. They died near Santa Teresa, New Mexico, in a crash. They have been identified as Lance Corporal Albert Aguedo, 22 years old, Riverside, California, and a combat engineer, 1st Combat Engineer, Engineering Battalion, 1st Marine Division. He enlisted in May of 2024. And Marcelo Gambino was the 28 years old, also of California, was the other person. Now, look, Donald Trump has said we are going to take a 60-foot corridor on the border that goes all the way from New Mexico to California.
Right.
So that's why they were along the border.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're there. I mean, they are doing it.
And, accidents happen. This accident could have happened, in a training accident. Look at the military members that died in, was it Czech Republic or Yugoslavia? Accidents happen.
Right.
Sad, but they do. I mean, Tom could be on the way home this afternoon and hit a dumpster on the side of the road. Accidents happen.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do. All right, Letitia James recaps what she sows after laughing about the Trump case. Well, not the Trump case, her case. But she said that, she claimed that she didn't live in New York. Now, if you say that your residence is not in New York, can you actually be the Attorney General of New York?
No, you have to, your primary residence has to be in New York.
So the home she purchased with her dad, who she claimed was her husband, and this gets a little bit more sketchy because it involved Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which is
federal. I'm sorry.
Federal. Yeah. So did she defraud the federal government? That gets a little bit more deep. Yes, she also said that her primary residence was at that home.
In Virginia.
Lie.
In Virginia, not New York. Sounds to me like she's guilty as sin, but that's just me.
Might be in trouble.
All right, Tom on the text, our number 877-396-W105. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Zia Guns. Looking for guns? They have guns. 1907 North Main in Roswell. Firearms. They've got over 1,000 firearms in stock. Handguns, rifles, shotguns. Looking for personal protection. They've got you covered with lethal and non-lethal personal protection. Ladies, if you've been thinking about personal protection, go chat with them. find the right gun for you or find the right non-lethal personal protection. Trade in your gun to get a better gun. And don't forget, they are stocked with ammo, cleaning supplies. They can tune up your bow. Their number 575-622-0023. 1907 North Main in Roswell. Closed Saturday, always open on Sunday. Tom and the text boob of the day coming up next.
Frosty from the Patch is chiming in. My grandpa refereed and umpired till the day he died at 79. It's almost still, and he almost ran the length of a football field when he did referee without a problem. It's called getting off your lazy butt, says the texter. No, it's getting old. Look, I referee some older referees in Ruidoso. They have the passion, but the tools were gone.
How old is older?
That same age.
70-something?
Yep.
Had the passion, but
10
the
years
tools,
older than you.
The tools were done, yeah.
What are the tools that are needed to referee?
Well, you got to have a good physical body.
Well, I hate to tell you, bro. How long you been refereeing?
This is my 17th season.
You didn't have I can't say 1 year you've had the great physical body.
So, Father Time catches you up to you, brother.
Oh, okay.
So do excuses.
Yeah.
So do excuses.
And hey, guys, where's our Maybeer Monica? Says the texter. She's gone.
Monica is out today. She will be back coming up on Monday.
She said she had to get away from Tom for at least one day.
Well,
she said the smell was just too much.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. She can take off anytime she wants. Umpires.
Wait.
This coming from the guy
saying
that takes off more days as a part-timer. By the way, next week I'm off Monday, and then I'm off Thursday and Friday, and then
Me too.
I think it's Monday.
Me too.
So
Wait.
no, and I'm not joking about. My son is actually coming to the Philippines. He'll be here for 10 days.
Nice.
That means, Tom, you can't take off any of those days.
Oh, I'm not going to take off. I'll be here. Travis from Texas says, I umpired NCAA baseball, Tom, for 37 years. And you know what? I couldn't imagine doing it at 300 pounds, though. Says Travis from Texas. Okay. And why can't Tom take Fridays off, says another texter. That's Brian this morning.
We're trying. We're trying.
They want me to.
I mean, we'll try to do a better job. I promise we are trying.
Another texter says, Will Tyson. Boy, they're just chiming on me this morning. I'll be 48 next month, and I've been officiating baseball for over 25 years. I got bad knees, and I have had a hernia for about 3 years. And, I ain't got no excuses, you big old sissy, says Will Tyson. Golly. All right. Patricia from West Odessa says the Mendez brothers, it came out that they killed their parents because they were abused. Now, why are they still alive today? Because California does not have the death penalty, Patricia. That's why they're still alive. And Tom A., are you going to dance at the Stars in Carlsbad tonight? No, not this year, but maybe next year I'll participate in that deal.
Hey, when we come back from the break, we'll talk about Eric and Lyle Menendez. Yeah. And we'll also talk about, did you guys hear about that shooting at the Carnival in Fort Stockton, Texas?
No.
Yeah, we'll talk about small town USA. We'll talk about that. All right, let's get to the boob of the day, being brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine, anesthetics, medical professionals on staff. They are ready to serve you. And look, these folks, they treat people with natural supplements. Stem cell therapy. If you've got aches and pains, you've probably been told that you have to go under the knife to feel better. Give stem cell therapy a shot. I'm going to be honest with you. I need some ozone therapy about right now. Ozone therapy, it works for me. And it's about time for me to get it again. Hopefully when I come back in a couple months, I can get it and last a long time for me. Desert Functional offers hormonal optimization. Ladies, if you're going through hormonal issues, go in there, let them do a blood test, find out what's going on. And guys, if you're not feeling good, you become a couch potato. You've got your midsection is bigger than it's ever been. That's could be all hormonal issues. Testosterone is a hormonal issue, and a lot of times hormone goes down, your testosterone goes down, estrogen goes up. Let them do a deep dive into your blood work to find out. Testosterone, once you get on testosterone, it is a game changer. 575-964-8025, proud sponsor of the Boob of the Day.
All right, this guy thought he was a comic book hero, but he's a villain.
Uh-oh.
34-year-old guy named Jason Fernandez was at a comic book store in New Jersey at 11 in the morning last Saturday with his 2 young kids. Now, there was another customer in the shop who was, quote, acting disorderly. There aren't any details on what was happening, but he was asked to leave and he wasn't happy about that and threatened to beat up an employee. That's when Jason jumped into action and pulled a gun out on the tough guy and racked it to intimidate the guy and chamber around. His kids did not like him being a vigilante, and his 9-year-old pulled at the arm holding the gun to get him to put it away. By the time the cops showed up, everyone was gone. 2 days later, they located and arrested Jason and charged him with multiple weapons offenses in New Jersey. The big one, it turns out he wasn't licensed to carry or even own a gun. Now, it doesn't sound like the other customer will be charged with anything. But if you're carrying a gun and there's an argument, you can't just pull out a gun and point it at someone. You immediately become the bad guy when you do that. And Kevin, for that, he is the Boob of the Day.
All right, we're going to take a break. Who's on the extended version this morning?
We're going to have Van Myrick on this morning. He's going to be talking all about Cowboy Days down in Jal going on next week.
All right, we'll talk to him on the way. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. News this morning being brought to you by Seminole Siding and Construction, a trusted name across southeast New Mexico. Exceptional construction and siding services. They do residential services, but they also do metal buildings, commercial and industrial metal buildings. From start to finish, they get it done, get it done right the first time. They offer comprehensive solutions for all your construction. Their number, 575-391-1430. Go to the website, SeminoleSidingAndConstruction.com. We're coming right back. It's 8:45. We're Beyond the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Michael Jimenez of Artesia was acquitted of first-degree murder after a 6-day trial ended in Carlsbad. The jury voted 11-1 in favor of acquittal. Lacking a unanimous verdict, the judge declared a mistrial. Jimenez could face a future trial for second-degree murder, but was released from custody after being imprisoned for 4 years awaiting trial. Jimenez was charged 8 years ago with the killing of Danny Mendez, 49, in a remote area of Eddy County near Fort Dinkus and Haystack Roads. Mendez of Roswell was found beaten to death in a roadway in March of 2017. The suspect behind an arson attack on the headquarters building of the New Mexico Republican Party and the firebombing of a New Mexico Tesla dealership has been revealed to be an Antifa and a Black Lives Matter supporter. Jamison Wagner, 40, of Albuquerque and a registered Democrat, was charged in connection with a February 9th arson attack at the Tesla Albuquerque showroom and a March 30th arson attack at the New Mexico GOP headquarters office, which left the entryway to the building destroyed. Wagner is also listed as being a member of the Radical 500 Queer Scientist Group. And Roswell police officer Brandon Spites, who has been employed with the RPD for about 7.5 years, was arrested on 1 count of battery against a household member. Spites was charged in relation to an April 3rd incident in which Spites allegedly battered his girlfriend. A petition for an order of protection of domestic abuse was filed by the girlfriend against Spites on April 8th in connection to the incident. Spites was charged last year similarly with assault against a household member following an August 8th incident. 2 days later, that charge was dismissed by the 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office. I'm Blake Ovard, and this is MTD Radio News.
Happening now until Saturday, April 19th at Tate Branch Hobbs. Employee pricing for all new vehicles. 1.9% for 72 months on 2025 Ram 1500s. 10% off 2024 Jeep Wranglers. Up to $3,500 off on Chrysler Pacificas. 0% for 72 months on the Dodge Hornet. 20% off most 2024 Jeep Gladiators, 10% off 2024 Ram 2500s. Hurry, employee pricing ends Saturday, April 19th at Tate Branch Hobbs, 4123 North Lovington Highway under the giant American flag.
Why are families driving from West Texas, Hobbs, Jow, Eunice, all over southeastern New Mexico to shop at Bob's Ridgeway? Is it the everyday low prices, the most locally grown farm fresh produce? Is it the hand-selected and cut meats, the hundreds of weekly specials, the clean, friendly shopping environment? Or is it just the fact that that's where for over 50 years your grocery dollar has always gone farther? It's all of these. It's Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington, where your grocery dollar goes farther.
Lee County Rides Amusements Carnival is back at the Lee County Event Center. Every ride is here, like Hang 10, Kamikaze, Vertigo, Orbiter, and a big Ferris wheel. Lots of rides for the little kids, too. The wet boats in real water, Jumbo the Flying Elephants, and many more. Enjoy the cotton candy, funnel cakes, lemonade, and handmade pizza. Get a wristband and ride all you want all day for just $40. Now through April 20th at the Lee County Event Center. Rides Amusements, family fun since 1961.
In New Mexico, our roots run deep. And for more than a century, Chevron has been here with you, helping fuel our shared culture by supporting local events like the New Mexico State Fair and youth education through our partnership with ABQ Biopark, all to keep our home thriving for generations to come. Visit chevron.com/New Mexico.
Guns, and more guns. Available now at Benny's Western Store in Artesia. New guns, used guns, lots and lots of guns are arriving weekly at Benny's. They still have plenty of boots, hats, shirts, and jeans, as well as purses and accessories for the ladies. Don't forget that Benny's always has free gift wrapping. Benny's Western Store, 205 West Main in Artesia.
There's a special magic in the air when Jow Cowboy Days rolls into town. This beloved event transforms Jow Lake Park into a vibrant celebration of Western culture and community spirit. With live music, a Dutch oven cook-off, and fun for the whole family. Loaded with vendors to shop, plus a foam pit and bounce houses for the kids. It's an experience you won't want to miss. On Friday, April 25th, the live music begins with the sounds of Josh Ward from 7 to 8:30 p.m. and Bravos de Ojinaga from 9:30 to 11 p.m. Then on Saturday, April 26th, the day kicks off with the Cowboy Cook-Off at 7 a.m., Cattle Drive at 11 a.m., and Branding at 11:30. Finish the evening as Lowdown Drifters takes the stage from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., followed by Norteños de Ojinaga from 9:30 to 11 p.m. Celebrate the spirit of the West at Jow Cowboy Days, April 25th and 26th. Join the festivities, indulge in the delicious food, and enjoy unforgettable performances. Visit cityofjow.us for more details. Don't let this fun-filled family affair pass you by.
Thank God it's Friday.
In the Breakfast Club, being powered by Permian Ford, with the goal of being your #1 Ford dealer in New Mexico and West Texas. Call 877-396-W105.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday.
Whoop-de-do-it. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. It's finally Friday. That is unbelievable, man. Forget the working blues and let your good times roll.
So in my best kindergarten voice, I said,
The answer is
Ruthie Fittipaldi.
That's right. That's right.
Thank God it's Friday.
8:51, 9 minutes away from 9. One person was injured in a shooting at the Carnival on South Highway 285 in Fort Stockton, and that happened about 9 p.m. Officers did a walk through the Carnival on 285 when they heard the gunshots. More units were requested. Fort Stockton Criminal Investigation, Pecos County Emergency Medical Services, and the Pecos County Sheriff's Department responded. Officers were notified of a man that needed medical attention. He was treated and transported to the Memorial Hospital, non-life-threatening injuries. Officers say no suspect has been identified in this investigation at this time. And Eric and Lyle Menendez, Tom A's two favorite men.
I said they
Tom,
should.
you said they were
Because
innocent.
of this new
right?
evidence, they should get a new trial.
What new evidence? The stuff they created?
No, there was a letter that one of them wrote to his cousin that we were sexually abused by our parents.
So the stuff after they created after
Now,
the
wait,
trial.
did they tell anybody before they killed their parents?
Well, they sent the letter to his cousin before all this happened. But the
Before they killed their
prosecutors knew that it existed, but they never presented it.
No. Listen to me. You're not listening.
What?
You're not listening. Before they killed their parents,
What about them?
did they tell anybody before they killed their
Well, they
parents?
were always scared to tell somebody. Come on, that's when you get that kind of abuse.
Oh, so
happening.
from the jailhouse they sent a letter. Oh, gotcha.
How many times?
I was
did they
wondering
shoot
if
them?
they did it before, like when they were all coked up and stuff.
Oh, they did it way
No,
before.
no, they didn't. They didn't spend their dad's money after they killed him on coke and stuff, right, Tom?
Well, I'm sure they went crazy on it.
They only unloaded the shotgun,
But they had
reloaded, and kept shooting.
They moved next door to you.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. All that rage caught up with them
All that rage.
of sexually being abused for all those years. That caught up with them, man.
Alleged sexual abuse, because they killed the. If we go along with this, they killed the guy that allegedly had sexually abused him, and now we'll never know. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they've been in prison 35 years.
So
already.
why did they kill their mother? Because she didn't do it.
She didn't. Well, they told her about it, but she didn't believe them.
Anyway, the Menendez brothers' bid for freedom was cut off Thursday, with Friday's proceedings canceled. The attorney and the judge will meet again coming up May 9th to discuss the next steps after the planned 2-day resentencing was called off. Eric was visibly annoyed, and Lyle was emotionless. In fact, if they had a gun, they'd probably kill everybody. That's how annoyed they were, Tom. Yeah, and then they write a letter to their cousin.
Well,
the
Tom-
brothers' defense.
Tom's excuse now is you can kill someone if you tell them something and they don't do what you want them to do. You can just kill them like they did her mother.
Every case has an exception. I believe this is one of them. Because they look like good boys all their lives,
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they, the way they treated people. I mean,
They were bullies.
Yeah.
That's hearsay.
No, that's from the people who were bullied.
Wow. So anyway, it looks like they're not getting out anytime soon.
Good.
God bless you. God bless you.
You and
looks
Rosie
like,
O'Donnell, man, I swear. You and Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. Bribery trial for Nadine Menendez. That's the Senator Bob Menendez's wife. Reached closing arguments with the partner in crime. Was she the partner in crime when they were getting the gold bars and all kind of other stuff? Look, it was stored at the house. She knew about it, and she's facing about 11 years in jail for bribery.
Man.
By the way, the former senator, who was not present there, was sentenced to 11 years in prison for bribery, acting as a foreign agent, obstruction charges. And you know what? He should also be charged with, this guy was a sitting senator.
Yes.
My God. And Hillary Clinton. One last story before we get to the good news. Hillary Clinton said Americans of conscience must stand against Trump's deportation of illegal aliens accused of being gang members. Did she really say that?
That is what she
Failed
said.
President Hillary Clinton has thrown her support behind Mr. Kilmar Garcia, the accused MS-13 gang member, alleged domestic abuser who was deported to El Salvador. She's standing with him.
Yes.
Good. Please stand
because apparently she's in favor of illegal criminals.
Wow, and that's totally opposite of what she said many years ago.
Yes. And she's apparently in favor of domestic abuse.
Yeah, one more story. Trump says the minerals deal with Ukraine coming down next Thursday. So the deal is done.
Wow.
Tom, quickly to the text. Good news up next.
All right. So this texter says sticking up for criminals is how you know Tom is a Democrat. Why don't you fly over to California, says this texter, Tom, and demand that they be able to go home like those Dems are doing with those illegals in El Salvador.
Like your chick Hillary.
Stay there.
You know, he does admire Hillary, and he is basically parroting exactly what she said about
and
criminals.
MLG is misusing New Mexico National Guard on the highways. They could have been killed there too, says the texter.
Yeah, I mean, they have a better chance of being killed in Albuquerque than somebody on that 60-foot corridor, for sure. All right, Blake, good news of the day being brought to you by Farmers Insurance Agent Herschel Rustin Hayes, Avenue D in Lovington, 575-396-0513. Home, auto, life insurance, commercial insurance. Call Rustin Hayes today. That number, 575-396-0513. Herschel Rustin Hayes, he is your Farmers Insurance Agent.
So a student at East Tennessee State is in the news because she got a full ride to college, apparently thanks to Taco Bell. Now, she worked there for a couple years and applied for the scholarship program that they did offer employees. She got $10,000 her first year and a total of $40,000 by her senior year.
Wow.
With the financial aid, she also qualified she's going to graduate debt-free.
Nice.
So she's going to have no debt because of all of that. And she posted a video thanking everybody because a lot of Taco Bell money came from customers that round their change up at the drive-thru.
Yes.
So there you go.
I was wondering when that happened.
And now you know. And a group of 40 house painters helped out a woman near Vancouver who's fighting cancer. They showed up at her house last Friday and repainted the whole thing for free as part of a charity effort that trains new workers and helps people out at the same time. And Kevin, that is the good news of the day.
All right, taking a break. We're coming back. The extended version up next. Who's the guest, Blake?
Going to be Van Myrick from Jowl, where we're going to have Cowboy Days next weekend.
All right, we'll talk about Cowboy Days. The extended version this morning being brought to you by Roach Air. News this morning being brought to you by Roach Air Conditioning and Heating. Your choice for your next HVAC job. Yeah, temperatures warming up, the air condition not putting out like it's supposed to do. You better call Enrique Rocha, 575-631-1999. Call him today. We're coming right back. KWMW, Malchamore, 105.1 FM, KWES, 93.5 Ruidoso, and KDAZ, AM 700, FM 96.9 in Albuquerque. Extended version of Being the Breakfast Club is up next. It's 9:01.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. President Trump reveals the U.S. is chatting with China.
President Trump says that Chinese officials have been in touch with American officials over these tariffs and that the two countries could reach an agreement within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Now, the president did strike a trade deal with China in his first term, though Beijing never fulfilled its commitments.
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House. Students evacuated during the mass shooting at Florida State University will be allowed to collect their personal belongings later today.
2 people confirmed dead. Authorities say they are not students, and we're working to find out more about the 6 people injured who are in the hospital right now. But students who go here to FSU are understandably very shaken up.
That's Fox's Madison Scorpino on the campus in Tallahassee. America's listening to Fox News.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
National Furniture Liquidators Easter Extravaganza. It's easy. From now to Easter, just walk in, grab an egg, and get instant savings of 25, 35, and even 45% off all furniture and accessories. Big savings throughout the store on everything for your home, living room, bedroom, and more, plus great financing options regardless of your credit. Easter Extravaganza now till Easter. National Furniture Liquidators. When it comes to value, quality, and selection, nobody beats short.
Good times and bad come and go. The dust settles and you take a look around. That's when you see who your real friends are. We've seen our members through the toughest of times. We're conservative and we're consistent. We don't always tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes we say no, but we're always looking out for your best interest. That's what friends are for. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
80 years. That's how long Forest Tire has been serving the needs of their loyal customers. You need a tire that will keep you going for the long haul so you can take on tough jobs. Let us introduce you to the Michelin Defender LTX MS tire. It holds up to tough conditions to keep you rolling strong. Stop in today for the Michelin Defender LTX MS tire and do more for more miles. Forest Tire, keeping you rolling since 1944.
In New Mexico, our roots run deep. And for more than a century, Chevron has been here with you, helping fuel our shared culture by supporting local events like the New Mexico State Fair and youth education through our partnership with ABQ Biopark, all to keep our home thriving for generations to come. Visit chevron.com/New Mexico.
The Matanza Fest and Cinco de Mayo celebration is the party you don't want to miss. Traditional music, vendors, a car show, dance, and the Matanza. A mouth-watering event and a competition of savory, one-of-a-kind pork creations, real chicharrones, and fresh salsa. Think you have what it takes? Enter your team today at nmmatanza.com. The Matanza Fest and Cinco de Mayo celebration at the fairgrounds in Roswell. Proceeds to support alternative education programs and paid for in part by City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Hey folks, Brian Bruce here, new owner of Mustang Country Chevrolet. With over 200 new and used cars in our inventory, you have more choice than ever. Bigger selection, better financing options, and excellent service. Our goal is to keep you on the road because we know time is money. Call, click MustangCountryChevy.com or come see us at 604 West Broadway in Denver City. Mustang Country, as big as Texas.
Dear future, Toyota leads the way with hybrid tech and all-wheel drive. With style for miles, the Camry gives you up to 51 combined MPG. The Corolla Cross is packed with tech, and the future-forward Prius takes you further. No matter where the road leads, Toyota's hybrid tech and available all-wheel drive get you there. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today. Toyota, let's go places.
It's time for the 76th annual membership meeting for Lee County Electric. Join them on Friday, April 25th during regular business hours in Lovington and Tatum, New Mexico, and Plains, Texas. Attendees will receive a registration gift, have the opportunity to vote, and be entered for the grand prize of $2,500 from Lee County Electric. Lovington will host a drive-thru event, while Tatum and Plains will open their lobbies for registration. To streamline your registration process, find a personalized registration card in the back of the April issue of the Enchantment magazine. The business portion of the meeting will be streamed on Facebook Live at 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. Lee County Electric, 76 years strong, owned by those we serve.
The extended version of Bee and the Breakfast Club is on the air, discussing what's going on in southeast New Mexico and beyond on W105.
It's already 9:07. It's time for the extended version. Blake is in studio. Our special guest this morning, Blake, is?
This morning we have Van Myrick, and we're going to be talking about Jowl Cowboy Days, which is coming up next weekend down in Jowl. Good morning, Van.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
We are doing fantastic.
Awesome. Yep, likewise. So Yeah, we're excited about Cowboy Days next weekend.
So tell us what that entails.
All right. Well, it's going to be a Friday night and Saturday event.
Right.
And it's to pay homage to our ranching heritage that helped start JAL back well over 100 years ago. And we will kick off Friday night with 2 bands of concerts. We'll have Josh Ward, who's a popular Texas country artist, and a Hispanic band. It's Bravos de Hiñoño. I think I'm saying that right. Onjingas, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Forgive me to the Spanish crowd. This redneck doesn't pronounce those words very well. But anyhow,
I understand.
We've got some great entertainment, lots of vendors, food vendors, merchandise vendors, some goat roping vendors. So it's really going to be a good time. And then Saturday is where we will pay homage to that heritage at 11 o'clock a.m. on Main Street. There will be an actual cattle drive, and those cattle will be driven from Main Street all the way down to Jowl Lake.
Okay.
Where we have had a local rancher donate a calf to us, and that calf will be branded with the actual Jowl brand that is still registered with our Jowl Historical Museum.
Wow.
And that calf will then be auctioned off in between the concerts Saturday night to raise money for our museum.
Okay.
And Saturday night's concert will be the Lowdown Drifters and Norteños del Onjonga. I think that's how it's spelled again. Sorry. But, yeah, not good at that.
I get it. I understand.
Another great concert, but we're really looking forward to auctioning that one calf off. It's a steer with that Jowl brand. That last year's calf was auctioned off, and the hide is actually being tanned right now so that we can display that in some of the cases in City Hall with that Jowl brand on it. So it's pretty neat. A day of just the community coming together and enjoying some good fellowship, good vendors, good music, and just a really, really good time.
Now, with that money being donated to the museum, tell people why that museum, which has been in the making for a while, why is that important for the people in Jowl and the whole community, and what all does that house and what does it do?
Well, the museum is trying to get a building finished so that we can actually display some of the great items that we have about our history. And Jowl is very rich in history, from Kathy Whitworth, the famous professional golfer, to our ranching heritage, El Paso Natural Gas coming here and helping further develop the town. So there's a lot of stuff that's been donated throughout the years that we would like to get in a permanent home so that people can come by and see what Jowl's history is all about and what happened in the past and where we're going in the future.
Well, and Jowl does have kind of an interesting history, which you just kind of barely hit on there, from everything from the oil and gas industry, which is very big in the area, and is probably responsible for a big increase in the population there in Jowl recently. But it's not just oil and gas. There is a big ranching history down there, isn't there?
Yes, there is, and it's very prominent. A lot of great families in the area that still have ranches out here that still ranch. And it's just it's a neat part of our history, and it's cultural. So it's nice to have those ties to talk about and be able to present in our museum and just something that people can come and enjoy.
Right. And one of the things that people will notice if they're traveling from the north to the south coming into Jowl is there was a giant sculpture that was commissioned that is out there, and it's kind of become known, and it is about the ranching heritage and a cattle drive and things of that nature.
Absolutely. And that artist, Brian Norwood, still lives in Jowl. He's actually the president of the JAL Museum. And yes, it's pretty neat, the homage that pays to the city of JAL. And if you get a chance, you can actually drive up to it. It's easy to get to, and you can see the magnitude of these things. They're huge, but it is breathtaking at sunset. You top Phillips Hill coming into JAL, and you see it, and you really think that there is an actual live cattle drive going on there. That's how prominent it is. So it's neat. We always love to take dignitaries and visitors when they come to JAL out there to see it. And then there's more of Brian's artwork throughout town in Centennial Plaza. It's a golf course, and it's just, and every bit of that artwork that he has pays homage to JAL's history.
Wow. And you briefly mentioned Kathy Whitworth, and I don't think that JAL and Kathy actually get enough credit for what she did. For those people who don't know who the female professional golfer was, tell them who she was.
Well, Kathy, obviously from JAL. Again, that's tied to El Paso Natural Gas. Her family were here because of El Paso. And she picked up golf clubs one day when she couldn't get on the tennis court at the JAL Country Club and fell in love with golf immediately. And for those that don't know, she, I think to this day, is still the winningest professional golfer, tournament wins in the world, and which is just extraordinary. And you are correct. We don't have enough acknowledgement throughout the nation of Kathy, but we're very proud that she's from JAL. We paid homage to her. We've lost her here a couple years ago, but great lady. Very big supporter of JAL, and we truly love her.
Yeah, and when you say that she's won more than any other professional golfer, you mean every professional golfer, not just women. All the guys,
every
too.
Professional, yes. A quite extraordinary record, and I think that'll be a long time before that's even surpassed.
I totally agree. Let's jump back to the Cowboy days, because that's what we're here to talk about.
Got a little sidebar.
Sorry, there's so much that goes on down in JAL, and a lot of people just don't realize it. So when I get the opportunity, I like to kind of bring it up.
Yes.
It's but Cowboy Days. Do you guys have a website that people can go to? That they can see times.
We have. Yes, the City of JAL's website also has some information about it. We also have on Facebook some information about it, and it's this is the second year that we've got it back going. It kind of went by the wayside for 10, 12 years, so we're building it bigger and better every year, and you can go find it on the website or our social media. But do come down and enjoy it. So you'll have some great food vendors and just a good time.
Well, you hit on the fact that it went away for a little while, and that was, I mean, there's a lot of finger pointing that can go on as to why it went away, but why, when something is gone, why do you feel the need that Cowboy Days is something JAL had to bring back? Why is that important that you guys brought that back?
Well, we also have a celebration called JAL-orama, and the city picked back up and helped with promoting that from an individual that used to do it, and because of some family illnesses and stuff, he couldn't do it. So we picked that back up and had such a great time with the staff getting that underway and having it be successful. And we're like, well, we need to do something in the spring. And I immediately thought, well, we used to have Cowboy Days when I first got here, and why not resurrect that and let's do it again? And, things do go away because it takes volunteers to promote that stuff and get that stuff off the ground. And people get tired every now and then. And usually if you look at volunteer organizations, there's 4 or 5 people that are doing everything.
Right.
So we understand why it went away, and it's okay, but we have resurrected it, and glad that it's back, and looking forward to many more years of that celebration. And we have great staff with our city, and they all do a great job. And
they do.
You can tell when these these events take place that they put everything they have in it, their heart, blood, soul, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that the event is well thought of and well cared for.
Well, and just the way that you have it laid out, where it's a Friday evening, you have particular entertainment for that evening, then come around on Saturday, starting Saturday early in the day, and then you have the cattle drive, and that's going to go down to the lake, and then at the lake you have all the vendors, and you have more food and drink, and then you have entertainment. What it seems like there's everything there. What's your favorite part?
My favorite part is the cattle drive. I absolutely love it. And we're going to have a few more head this year with some mamas and babies that are going to be in it. So it's fun. It's neat to watch.
Well, and people can watch, and they can watch the whole route.
Absolutely.
What do you want to tell those people? Because you will get some people, because this is not like a fast moving thing. I mean, they're walking at the normal pace. What do you tell people who kind of want to walk along with it or stand and watch it, or where should they be? All that kind of stuff.
Well, they can start lining up right before 11 o'clock, and they can line up from Freedom Park, where it's going to start at. You can sit along Main Street. Main Street has been revitalized with new sidewalks and trees as of several years ago. So there's several places to sit and enjoy. Or you can park in any of the parking lots along 3rd Street and watch the cattle go by. But it's a neat process, and it really pays homage to how back in the day that product that was so needed in America was moved versus today, which is by mechanical means, large trucks and trains. So,
right.
Yeah, but you can enjoy it anywhere along the route, from Main Street, 3rd Street, and all the way down to the lake.
Okay. Now, when it gets to the lake, and you said that, is there a pen set up, I guess, that they're going into, or?
Yes, sir. There will be pens set up, and they'll be large enough so that the crowd can gather around. And the one steer that's been donated by Mr. Silvio Cervantes and his ranch, that calf will be roped and, so to speak, wrangled, and will be branded with that Jowl brand. So, and the Jowl brand is very unique. It's not like many other brands, where there's just one brand. There's an actual J, an A, and an L. That brand, how that brand was used back in the day. So it's the original brand and still registered through the state of New Mexico.
And it looks like the lake.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same. That's always a unique feature, I think, when I get to point out to people if you show them Jowl on the map and they say, "What is this lake?" and I'm like, "Look, it spells Jowl."
The distinction of, I think we're the only one in the world that has a lake that spells our city name. So very proud of that.
How many people do you expect to come out to that? How much does Jowl grow in these next couple of days, next weekend?
Oh, we expect concert crowds of maybe 1,000 or more.
Amazing.
Throughout the day, there'll be several hundred people at the lake at any given time. But it's we are so impressed as these events take place of how many people do come and enjoy it. And we see people from northern part of Lee County, Hobbs, Levington, Eunice. We have visitors from Andrews, Odessa, Midland, Kermit, Wink. It's just, it's very well attended.
Yeah. Right. Tell us about the Dutch oven cook-off, because that's what I'm interested in.
Well, and this one's been hard to get off the ground.
Put Tom as a judge. He likes to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and we're having a hard time getting participants. We've advertised it and all, but we might have to go to something like a chili or rib cook-off to get people to participate. There's just not a lot of Dutch oven cookers around here. But we were hoping to spur some of that, but hopefully somebody will show up and do that. Come on down and we'll see.
Well, Tom, do you have a Dutch oven? Tom could come down and cook.
What's a Dutch oven?
He just wanted the food, man. He
There
just wanted
lies
the food.
the problem.
I'll be your judge.
He just wanted the food. So we kind of hit on that a little bit. We have the entertainment. We're going to have the vendors. Tom hit on the Dutch oven cooking. What else are those little events that are within the events? And go over the whole thing again so everybody knows what's going on if they just joined us.
Yes. So obviously we'll have the food and merchandise vendors. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that will help pay homage to the ranching heritage is we'll have a vendor set up that actually has actual goat roping for the kids. So they'll get to be able to come down and do that. Music will be played throughout the day, so people can come bring their lawn chairs and sit and relax and enjoy themselves. And just and the weather looks like it's going to be fantastic. So even better.
Yeah, weather is always the iffy thing, isn't it?
It sure is. But rain, wind, or whatever we're going to have, heat, we're still going to put this event on, and we're going to have a great time. So.
Right on. That's the good thing about a cattle drive is the wind's not going to knock them around too much.
No, not at all. Not at all. So
maybe we can put we can put Tom leading the cattle drive. Maybe.
Absolutely, we'll hang a bale of hay off his back, and they can follow it.
He's a working cowboy. He's pretty good. He's a working cowboy.
Awesome. That's what we need. Come on down.
Yeah, there we go.
So, but it's a great drive. And last year when we did it, I was so worried that we would have cattle spread all throughout Jal, and it went perfect. We had a lead heifer and her calf take off, and the rest of them followed. So we're hoping for the same thing this year.
Well, and again, for anyone who's going to line the street, who's never been to a cattle drive, if you stay on the sides, you're going to be fine. Do not walk in front of them.
Please do not walk in front. They, their mental attitude is not like ours, and they will tend to knock you over. So yes,
and they're usually a little bit bigger than most folks who would be out there. So.
Yes, absolutely. So, but come on down. It's going to be a great Saturday, and we're looking forward to the rest of the surrounding communities coming down and enjoying what Jal has to offer.
Well, and on Saturday, I know that we as the radio station is going to be there as well, and we'll be broadcasting live. I know that I'm coming down, and a few other folks. I don't know who the whole lineup is yet, but I know that we're going to join you, so I'm looking forward to that. And watching the Brandon and the cattle drive and listening to some good music and all of that kind of stuff. And this is going to be an annual thing going forward every year. Is it always going to be this weekend? Is it going to move on the calendar? How is that going to work?
That is our intent, is to keep it on the same weekend annually and just grow it bigger and better every year.
All right. Kevin, what else you got, sir?
No, I think you've covered pretty much everything. Give the web address, if you would, at least one more time.
So it's www.cityofjal.com, or on Facebook, you just type in City of Jal under your search bar, and then we will come up, and it'll have all that info for you, as well as other events that'll be coming up soon, 4th of July in Jallarama. So.
Very good.
Awesome. Sounds like a great time. And if somebody needs any information on how to get to Jal, please do not take information from Tom. You'll end up in like Andrews.
We'll get you there eventually.
Yeah, just
eventually is the key word.
He'll go to Roswell and then get to Jal.
Get on Highway 18, head south. You can't mess with it.
Right on 18, between Eunice and Kermit. There you go.
That's correct. That's it. Just can't miss us.
All right. All right.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Let us know about what's going on. And if you get some time this weekend, head down to Jal. It's going to be a fun time for the entire family. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having us. You have a great day.
Not a problem. All right, already 9:27. We'll be back on Monday. We still a lot of things shaking out, I'm sure. By next week, we'll have the deal with Ukraine, the precious metal. So you mean if the Chinese say they're not going to ship us precious metals, we'll have another place to go?
Right.
Huh. Is that the idea?
I think so.
So maybe maybe that part will all work out.
Let's hope.
And Nate Silvers. gives a early nod for the front runner for the 2028 Democratic primary. Who do you think the early candidate is?
For 2028, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. AOC.
Yeah, AOC.
AOC. This guy's a pollster. He's been right a whole bunch of times. He says AOC. We can only hope that it's AOC.
Oh, please let her pick Ian Omar as her running mate or somebody like that.
Just keep on talking. Just keep on talking.
Russ is
All right, we're
chomping
out
at
of
the
here.
bit
God
to get in
bless.
here. So
Russ Black.
Yeah.
So let's go.
What's up, Russ?
No. He's chomping at the bit.
Oh.
We're moving on.
We try to move on to Russ Black and his award-winning show, and Tom's acting like an anchor. Kevin, take us out.
Yeah. Dang, Tom, you want to be in charge now?
I would love to do a show.
Monday, I'm not gonna be here. So I mean, that would be the day to take charge.
No, that's not the way this works.
You don't think he could do it?
That's not the way this works.
I think he could do it. Maybe.
I think Monica and I and Tom will tag along, and maybe I'll even get Will Rooney in here for a little bit.
Yeah, Will Rooney's supposed to come in. Hey, God bless you guys. I'll be back on Tuesday, and I'll make sure my son and girlfriend get settled in. I'll be back on the show on Tuesday, and I'll be doing a lot of traveling for the next 10 days. So God bless you guys. Tradio is coming up next. I'm Kevin B. Be safe out there this weekend, and happy Easter to all.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. Michael Jimenez of Artesia was acquitted of first-degree murder after a 6-day trial ended in Carlsbad. The jury voted 11-1 in favor of acquittal. Lacking a unanimous verdict, the judge declared a mistrial. Jimenez could face a future trial for second-degree murder, but was released from custody after being imprisoned for 4 years awaiting trial. Jimenez was charged 8 years ago with the killing of Danny Mendez, 49, in a remote area of Eddy County near Fort Dinkus and Haystack Roads. Mendez of Roswell was found beaten to death in a roadway in March of 2017. The suspect behind an arson attack on the headquarters building of the New Mexico Republican Party and the firebombing of a New Mexico Tesla dealership has been revealed to be an Antifa and a Black Lives Matter supporter. Jamison Wagner, 40, of Albuquerque and a registered Democrat, was charged in connection with a February 9th arson attack at the Tesla Albuquerque showroom and a March 30th arson attack at the New Mexico GOP headquarters office, which left the entryway to the building destroyed. Wagner is also listed as being a member of the Radical 500 Queer Scientist Group. And Roswell police officer Brandon Spites, who has been employed with the RPD for about 7.5 years, was arrested on 1 count of battery against a household member. Spites was charged in relation to an April 3rd incident in which Spites allegedly battered his girlfriend. A petition for an order of protection of domestic abuse was filed by the girlfriend against Spites on April 8th in connection to the incident. Spites was charged last year similarly with assault against a household member following an August 8th incident. 2 days later, that charge was dismissed